the new lighting and everything. I think it looks pretty good. We can see people out there better than we have in the past, so I want to make a thank you to those groups for the new lighting. Thank you to the fire department. I think somebody's here to help keep us safe tonight. Hopefully we won't need them, but if we do, we should have represented the fire department here somewhere. The tented champions again is located back up behind me. The 8 champion animals, which will be sold at the end of the sale,
And good evening. Welcome to our broadcast from the Central Wisconsin State Fair Market Animal Sale. Bob Meyer, along with Matt Lippert, and Sheila Bowen is our statistician once again this year. And a different venue for us this year instead of all the years that we've done this over the air on WDLB. Our thanks to Zaleski Sports, who are streaming it for the individuals this year. The nice thing about streaming it, and I mentioned Mark Knoyer is the one who's the chair of the show, and he mentioned that the nice thing is when it's streamed and it's saved, you can go back home and see how the kids' market animals sold. So a plus. So whereas in radio, it was gone. That's it. So we start out with, once again this year, we've got Pete Winterstorfer as our auctioneer, and Tom Fredrickson is, of course, doing the announcing for us as well, and Rod Fredrickson, I should say. Kat Bendixson, Chris Fuchs, and Chris Ignatowski are the ringmen. And, of course, once again, Ag Country Farm Credit is clerking the sale, and they are the ones who have a lot of work and a lot of people here to put things together. We'll get along. We've got a total of 137 animals to sell this year, including the champions. The champions and reserve champions will sell at the end of the sale, so we'll let you know as we get closer to them. But we'll start out with 137 animals. Of course, I think that's pretty close to where we were back before the whole COVID thing started. 140, 145 was kind of an average for this sale.
I checked what we were doing last year. We're up under 10, but we're up a few.
Okay, right.
Pigs are about the same, and like 10 more beef and 10 more sheep.
All right, so the numbers coming
I think pigs are actually down a touch.
All right, well, here we go with our leadoff animal, and this is Justine Lindo, Market Lamb. She is daughter of Kevin and Ann Lindo. She's with the Golden Glow 4-H. The lamb weighs 135. And we are off and running with the sale. Well, no, not yet. Hey, we'll get Pete going. That's a good. This is just like us. We'll start and see how it goes.
Yep.
And again, this is the Wood County sale. A tradition they started a couple of years ago when it was a virtual sale. We sell by the animal, not by the pound. So he's asking for $900 now.
Well, it's nice for the buyers. They don't have to sit and figure out how much they spent.
Right, yeah. Especially you get into a 1,375-pound animal and you're starting to think.
It's a big multiplier.
Yes, yeah. Another $10 makes a big difference all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So we're looking for 1,000 right now. Again, this is Justine Lindo with Market Lamb, Golden Glow 4-H Club.
Lindos have the family. There's a number of them have really contributed to the size of the sheep show, not only in the market animals, but in the breeding classes. They bring a lot of animals to the fair. Sells
for $1,100, and it was purchased by J&S Processing, LLC. All right, next up, we go to Keegan Moore. Keegan with the Pleasant Corners 4-H. Tim and Jody Moore, their child, and a hog weighing 269. Talk about the Lindos, and of course, one of the features we had at Farm Technology Days at Clark County this year was in the youth area. They brought in people to demonstrate how to show and fit animals, and the Lindos were there with their lambs.
Yes.
Who better to find?
Right.
And they live in Clark County.
Yes, we have a tradition here in Wood County of stealing from the neighbor counties,
Periphery.
Well, Chile is in the Marshfield School District. A lot of it's about Marshfield School District. Roselleville is up in Marathon County, is in the Marshfield School District, and Chile. So that's a part of it is Marshfield. Here we are in Wood County, but the school district is out in those other counties.
Right. And the same thing with Clark County stretches into the Spencer School District at times.
Right,
so,
right.
Yep, sure does. So that's not. Keegan Moore, the hog, goes for $1,900, and it's sold to Quality Tank Solutions. So some pretty good prices right out of the chute here for these animals. All right, next up we go to Sherry Carl, a market hog, weighs 259, daughter of Todd Carl and Michelle Bruwink. She's Country Kids 4-H. And I know in the past years there's been a cap on the weight of the hog. Is that in place again this year?
And it's going up next year, I believe. So in a number of species, I think they're going to raise steers like 100 pounds. So I'm not going to tell you what we ended up.
Okay.
But it seems in all these species we're looking for a little bigger animal right along. So
Yeah, it used to be the standard market hog was 250 pounds.
All right, and I think in Clark County, where we had, if you were above this weight, you're not in the sale. I think Clark County would still sell them.
But up to the market weight max.
Up to the weight, so you just donated those extra pounds.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
All right, and Sherry's animal goes for $1,700, purchased by Gardner Cold Storage. And so I'm sure that's a name we'll hear a few more times through this evening.
Good participant. Yes.
Certainly are. Brooklyn Bowman, this is the first market beef of the sale here now. Brooklyn is with the Marshfield FFA, daughter of Dean and Shauna Bowman. Animal weighs 13.15. You said beef overall up about 10% this year? Or about 10 animals, I guess, huh?
Yeah, close to 10 animals, yeah. So numbers are up slightly. I think hogs were down just a few, and the sheep and the beef are up.
One of the things I knew they ran into challenges with 4-H because 4-H was unable to meet for about a year and a half because of COVID, and as a result, membership declined. Has membership come back in the county, do you know?
I don't think fully. So that second animal was Pleasant Corners 4-H. That was the club that I attended, and they just had I think it was their 80th birthday. So they had an anniversary party in the park in Pittsville, and their numbers have not recovered. That's been a pretty strong club, maybe 80 members, which is a good-sized club. They're just over 20 yet, so it's really been hard on clubs. We in Extension, the University of Wisconsin, was really rigorous on our COVID rules.
Right.
That didn't always fly real well in the rural communities. So.
All right. And the animal exhibited by Brooklyn Bowman. Steer goes for $5,000, purchased by Total Electric Service. So some very good prices here on these animals. Next up, we have Rose Hazenoil, Market Hog, with the Country Kids 4-H, daughter of Paul and Jill Hazenoil, and the hog weighs 270. I've always been amazed, I think of what hogs were like back in my 4-H days. And
I think we talk about that, how, pigs can, short generation interval, we can change the breed, the species pretty quickly from lard type to bacon or big loins or whatever, yeah.
I happened to be watching at Clark County. I was watching the Hogs show, and when you end up with the grand champion, the overall, and you end up with the purebred against the crossbred, and that's really the purebreds really are taking back seat most of the time, don't they?
Well, there's probably a little more vigor, a little hybrid. Yep.
Well, you think the benefit of a crossbred hog is you're taking theoretically the best traits from
both. Yep.
Yeah.
And so sometimes some of those pigs would get the worst traits of both. You don't pick that one one for the sale.
That's the one that's at home, yeah. Sells for $3,000, purchased by Power Pack.
I have to say something about your sale over there. I was there this year. Extension people were behind you, making sure all the exhibitors had their numbers. Mm-hmm. So you had a much better position than I did. My counterpart Richard would look out of the corner and we could see what was going on. But so I'm trying to remember, do you have 2 decks like this sale does?
No, we did last year. So we had the new barn last year. Was the first time we
beautiful
used it,
barn.
Which works well. And last year, the hogs were on the floor. The sheep were put up on a stand. And now this year, they just put the sheep and the hogs on the floor in front of the stand. And we did have some people mention that, hey, we can't see them. So we might go back. I think we've got to look at. I think the concern is pushing the animals, especially the hogs, up that ramp.
Up that ramp is hard.
And they are not real happy about that sometimes. Rose Hazenoil, Market Hog with the Country Kids 4-H, daughter of Paul and Jill Hazenoil. Hog weighs 270, sells for $1,500, purchased by Ag Country Farm Credit. And then we go to Catherine Cordes, daughter of Will and Amber Cordes. That's why Amber was standing here. Market Lamb, she's with Webster 4-H. Lamb weighs 132. Oh, we've got a hog up there.
You remember Amber?
Wait a minute.
Oh, she worked in the office with you at one time. Is that right?
We skipped Catherine Cordes for some reason. We're at Lauren Weigel. Market Hog weighs 283. She is with Marshfield FFA, daughter of Don and Roxanne Weigel.
So she showed in dairy today, and she's in the Marshfield FFA, as you say, and Tim Haig, her advisor, is the dairy superintendent, and she brought in a Holstein heifer and won her class. and that was pretty exciting because she bought it. She bought it at Oberholzer's. You know, she's been showing crossbred cattle, and she had, you know, the Holstein contest is thought to be maybe a little more difficult, and she won a class. So that was pretty exciting. And I was asking her afterwards. She bought that heifer for $900, which is, you know, a lot of kids spend 4 or 5 times that amount.
Yep.
So that's pretty exciting for her.
So somebody knew what they were looking at when they selected that heifer. They may be asked to do that again.
Yeah.
All right, Lauren Weigel up there right now, and it sells for $2,500.
So you buy your Holstein heifer for $900, sell your animal for $2,500. This fair will work well for her.
Did we miss Cordes? We missed Cordes. All right, I'm sorry. We missed Catherine Cordes. Catherine. And the lamb sold for $1,500, and that was purchased by Ag Country Farm Credit. So we apologize to Catherine, or her mother's going to let me know about that.
Okay, so did we just miss Catherine, or what?
No, we missed it. The sale didn't.
Right.
All right. So.
Well, I had a nice visit with that girl before the sale here.
Yes, I worked with Amber at Citizen State Bank. Yep.
All right, and they got their lamb from the Abel family, which when we get to the champions, we're going to see the Abel name on a champion. But Paul Abel worked for years and years at the Marshfield Ag Research Station, which is where Will Cordes works, Catherine's dad.
Jeremy Bauer, a hog from the Golden Glow 4-H, son of Steve and Becky Bauer. Hog weighs 287, and that sells for $2,000, purchased by Nasonville Dairy. And there's another name you'll hear several times this evening, of course. But yeah, last year, you know, with the market animal sale at Clark County, we went with that new barn last year, that new building that's built for the market classes, and it just works really well. We've got a dairy beef. Danica Meisner, daughter of Jason and Jody Meisner. Dairy steer weighs 1364. She's with the Golden Glow 4-H. This is a tall, sleek animal.
So that Golden Glow 4-H really dominated the dairy beef show. I think they might have all been from Golden Glow 4-H.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Poundcrats, Meisner, that's that 4-H club. And they brought out some really nice Holsteins.
Well, Wood County was kind of like that for a while, wasn't it? That certain clubs specialized in certain things.
Still for sure. And it moves a little bit. You know, we'll see some Badger 4-H. That's always been a real strong animal, dairy, and livestock club.
Animal sells for $4,000, purchased by Lynn Dairy. And now we have Gabe Wilforth, a market hog out of Country Kids 4-H, son of Adam Wilforth and Carmen Vasquez. Hog weighs 274.
I think we're doing good on that 56 seconds. They're going through pretty good so far, aren't they?
Yeah, they're clipping along. Obviously, we missed one.
Yeah, we missed one. Yeah.
We'll blame Sheila.
Yeah. Really comfortable night here tonight. We just had a few sprinkles. Well, more than sprinkles. We had a rainstorm just a half hour before the sale here.
Settled the dust.
It was really comfortable here. So hopefully that puts the buyers, the bidders, in great spirits. And
it's a very nice setting here. Of course, after the sale at the virtual sale at the country club a couple of years ago,
we took some of those ideas.
Yeah, they decided to go with round tables, and more of a banquet style here in the show ring, and as a result, it's a very relaxed atmosphere. All right, so the hog exhibited by Gabe Wilforth goes for $2,000, purchased by H&S Manufacturing. And next up we have Ava Hasenoil, market hog out of Country Kids 4-H. She's the daughter of Paul and Jill Hasenoil. Hog weighs 260.
You asked me earlier, I don't know if you want to do it now, but I did retrieve those prices from
the Clark
Neilsville.
County numbers, yeah.
Yeah. So you had a good sale over there.
Mm-hmm.
And
considering we had a real auctioneer this year. No.
I was up to Wausau. I was judging goats concurrent with the same time as the market animal sale. And I think they've mimic some things here. They're running their animals through a little faster.
Okay.
It used to take quite a while up at
Wausau
Wausau.
used to be notorious for being
Yeah.
a long sale. All right, did
And
we lose the microphone up here?
Another reason to mention that is some of these buyers go to Wausau, Neilsville, Marshfield.
Yes.
They hit all of
Yes.
those.
All right. Ava's animal purchased by McDonald's. We'll get the price here. I think we've lost the PA system. But we've got Farm Credit right next to us here, so they're good. $2,700. Ava Hasenoil's hog sells for. Now we have Oliver Endries. He's with the Richfield 4-H, a market lamb. Weighs 138. He's the son of Kurt Endries.
And Richfield 4-H got up in their display in their barn that they're a 100-year-old club. There's been a Richfield 4-H for 100 years.
Is that the oldest club in the county then?
In Wood County, yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, they're not stopping to figure that out, are they?
No.
The PA system.
So you can still hear Pete.
Yes. Yeah, and we had a nice dairy show in here today. So, they had to wait. And then on this end, we had llamas and goats. We had two shows going. And all this setup for this has to be done after those shows are done.
You think about how quickly this changes.
Oh, it's pretty cool. There's more than 50, probably 75 people that come in here. And kids and parents.
Know how to set it and the way it goes.
Yep.
I was thinking about years gone by. I remember one year they were packing up so fast I had brought chairs from the radio station.
And they
I
got
turned
snarfed
around and
up.
my chair was gone. So
you don't bring a chair anymore,
the following year, I went through when they set the chairs, I went through and found my chair.
It's a machine.
All right, so Oliver Andrews' animal goes to Pinter's Packing, and we'll get the price here momentarily.
Pinter's Packing. That's got a nice ring to it.
Ah. There's a Clark County
Yeah,
buyer.
We've used them for Carcass Show.
Yep.
Up at Dorchester there.
All right, we've got Ella Cramp now with Market Hog. She's with the Shady Lane 4-H, daughter of Kurt Cramp and Amy Bethard, and the hog weighs 246. And Sheila's struggling here because, of course, the PA is not announcing what the price is, so she's got to run for the price.
Oh, yeah, because we have this nice, I think it's a nice addition here where we get the...
So Andrews Market Hog sells for $1,100, goes to Pinter's Packing. And now we have Ella Cramp in the ring.
It's really easy to know who actually bought it and whose animal was with these big screens they have, but not the price.
Right. $2,200. There, I caught that one. $2,200 for Ella Camp's hog. And
Nelson Jameson.
All right, next we go to Elena Owie, daughter of Dale and Kelly Owie, Market Beef, North County Line 4-H. The beef weighs 1405. And this is a family that knows their beef.
Yes, very strong livestock family. And I think, how did that go? Reserve champion beef steer is Brooke Owie. And I think that she got recognized before we got on the radio, on the broadcast here, that
Right.
they had
Brooke
a new
was
program.
The Supreme Showman.
They had a new program where they took the top 2 senior showmen in beef, sheep, and swine and had them compete. They had the beef showmen had to show sheep and swine. They all had to show the other species.
Yep.
And this first year we did that, and Brooke Owie, the sibling here, won that contest.
And Jessica Lindo, who is also fairest to the fair,
Yep.
took second in that. All right, Owie's steer goes for $4,000. As you can hear, we've got our PA system back. Purchased by Automated Products. All right. Owen Luke, Market Hog from the Roosevelt Rockets. Matthew Luke and Martine Bradel Luke. Hog weighs 257. So you're talking about the numbers from Clark County. We had 116 animals total at that sale.
Yes, so these are per pound, right? Because you sold by pound. Your pigs went for $7.60 a pound average, and then between your dairy beef and your beef, you were $3.48 a pound on your beef, $3.50 on the dairy beef, and you were $9.46 a pound on the sheep. And then you sold one goat, and that was $13.50 a pound. And you sold poultry,
a chicken,
for $538 a pound, I think. So.
All right, Luke's animal sells for $1,500, purchased by Drexler Transport. And now we've got Sarah Doorhorst, a junior Holstein. She's with Market Hog.
Are those Holstein hogs?
Club.
Is that
yeah,
how
that's what I was. Junior Holstein kind of threw me here. There's a junior Holstein club now, I guess, apparently.
Oh, in Wood County, it's been a long time. Yeah.
And daughter of Dr. Matthew and Molly Doorhorst. Hog weighs 272. So what's the most popular cross in hogs now?
Oh, you know that I get a fail on that one. I'm not sure.
Because I'm looking at this one, and this has got it's almost a Poland China head on it. But there's a few neighbors involved in this one as well.
Well, most of them aren't pure, right?
Right, yeah. But I mean, for years it was kind of the Hamp Duroc or the Hamp York Duroc triple crosses were kind of the most.
I think they've been crossing so long that they're just kind of club pigs, right? They're.
And it sells for $1,500, purchased by Doorhorst Wood Recycling. All right, Lucas Bernick up next. Son of Jason and Leah Bernick, Golden Glow 4-H, and a dairy beef.
Oh, I said that already. Golden Glow 4-H, dairy beef. Golden Glow 4-H, dairy beef.
Oh, yep. There they are again.
Yep.
They're recurring.
Yeah.
Animal weighs 1482.
And there's another Clark County resident, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And actually, Leah and Jason actually live in the Loyal School District, but the kids go to Columbus.
Oh, I was going to guess that was maybe Spencer School District.
Well, there's a little notch.
Okay.
And their house sits in that little notch.
All right.
It's kind of goofy. If you look at school district lines, it's like, okay, when these were drawn, it was which district do you want to go to is kind of how it works out.
But now they're not following the choice, right?
Yeah, right. And actually, Jason, I mean, where he grew up, they were in the Spencer School District. So, yeah, it's just one of those goofy things. Anyway, it goes for $42.50, purchased by Hay Creek Pallet Company. All right, Haley Klum out of the Richfield 4-H, daughter of Sam and Holly Klum. Market Hog weighs 285.
So what breed are you calling this one?
Well, there's a lot of... Well, there's the back looks like a Hampshire, and the front looks like a spotted...
Well, the spots look like a spot, don't they? Yeah.
But the head is Hamp.
Yeah. So we're not doing weigh-ins ahead of time this year. So we're still having a carcass event, but it's not really a carcass show. So next week, Thursday, we're going to be up at Marathon City Quality Meats for a carcass show, but we aren't competing on those animals.
Just for demonstration purposes only.
Yeah.
All right, Haley Klum's animal sells for $2,200, purchased by Power Pack. And next up, we've got Noah Wallach, Market Lamb, Richfield 4-H, son of Bill and Heather Wallach. Lamb weighs 153. So how is the education process? I mean, the whole reason for this is the education process and what they go through to come to this, the culmination of a year's events.
Yeah, and I attend quite a few of the Market Animal Sale Committee meetings, and certainly that is a high priority. It's switched over the years how we've accomplished that, and certainly when we had the pandemic, like you said, we still had an event. It wasn't actually technically sponsored by the Market Animal Sale that year. That was at the Country Club because the Market Animal Sale is associated with the fair, and we didn't have a fair. But basically the same people came through and put an event on. But obviously education was a lot harder then. And we've increased the number of, you can go online and get a certification.
Okay.
But we still offer trainings through the sale. They have to attend basically equivalent of 3 full sessions of training. If they would go to a national event and it was in Ohio, let's say the Hereford show was down there or something, they probably could apply to get that to qualify, which at one time we were very strict on that, and it was pretty tough. Like if you were a college-age kid, you maybe weren't available to get the trainings and stuff. But yeah, they need trainings. It's kept track of. It's one of the criteria to be eligible for the sale.
Still the purpose of the sale. Wallet's Animal sells for $1,100, purchased by Gardner Cold Storage. Here we go. It's the trifocals aren't working quite right. All right, Jonathan Sternweiss, Market Hog with the Marshfield FFA, son of Daryl and Brenda Sternweiss, purchased by Seehafer Refrigeration, and we'll get a price on that one. $2,100, I think he said. Yep, $2,100 purchase. All right, Blake Grossman with Market Hog out of the Pittsfield FFA, son of Scott and Candy Grossman. Hog weighs 246. Has the education process changed over the years and what's being taught?
I guess somewhat. You review what... I remember when I first started Extension, they had that horrible outbreak of foot and mouth disease in England. And so there was a real huge emphasis on biosecurity at that time. And we showed videos of piles of animals being composted because this is the effect of biosecurity failing. But there's probably a good share of it's like how to do a better project animal for the fair. How do you feed your animal? How do you exhibit your animal? So I think some of those themes have been kind of there all along.
And Grossman's Animal sells for $1,900, purchased by J&S Processing. All right, next up we go. All right, we've got Brenna Thiel, Meadowbrook 4-H, daughter of Bill and Barb Thiel. Dairy steer, weighs 1427. So these dairy steers all kind of in the 1,400-pound range here, aren't they?
Yes. There is a criteria for this sale that the animals have to quality grade, at least low choice. And a lot of times the concern about that would be on the Holsteins because, they don't muscle up. They're a leaner framed animal. Although Holsteins generally, actually when you hang them on a carcass, have very good marbling, which is one of the criteria for grading choice. But all of our Holsteins met grade this year. They were all eligible. So it was a nice group of dairy beef.
Is that coming from the fact of knowing that they've learned over the course of the years better feed to feed out that
I'm sure, but when you get a new family in, then it all begins all over again, right?
So you train them.
So I brought up to their committee that there's actually quite a bit fewer of these Holstein steers being made nowadays because dairy farmers have drastically increased the amount of breeding their Holstein cows to beef animals, to Angus, Simmental, black-hided animals.
And that steer sells for $52.50, purchased by Richardson Milk Hauling. Mike Richardson. $52.50, you don't have to raise many of them.
Good price, yeah. Yes. So just following that theme, there's a lot of black calves being made on dairy farms that didn't used to be. So, and how do they accomplish that? We're using sexed semen to breed Holstein cows to your top part of your herd, so you get pretty much a guaranteed heifer out of your best cows. And then, let's breed the other cows to beef because those crossbred calves will be worth probably often twice as much at a week of age as a Holstein bull calf. And that's pretty important on the farm. So, but I still like to see this project.
We've got Alex Becker, market hog from the Auburndale Ffa, son of Steve and Shelley Becker. Hog weighs 262. Now you talk about that practice, and I know having been in the ag finance business, if you had a 25% cull rate on your herd, you're going to breed 25-30% of your top producers to Holsteins or to Jerseys, and the rest you're going to breed to beef.
Well, not to get too buried in dairy terminology, but a lot of herds are running 40% cull rates, but they didn't need to. They just had that many heifers coming through that they said, well, we'll sell these cows. And a 2-year-old cow, even a 3-year-old cow, milks less than if she is let to get a little older. So if you can have that lower culling rate, your cows can get older and produce more. So there's a lot of happy things happening there. We can get more in those crossbred calves. We cull fewer Holstein cows. The cows we keep get older, so they're able to milk more. So that's pretty neat set of things that have spiraled off of using more sex semen.
Yep, it's a lot of options. Becker's hog sells for $2,200, goes to Becker Trucking. And now we've got Braxton Tritz, market hog out of the Webster 4-H, son of Craig and Daly Tritz. Hog weighs 248. I think the other thing that's come from that too is, you look at herd averages, and because you're able to keep more heifers from those good cows, you're going to upgrade your herd and upgrade your culling cows that would have been no danger of being culled 5 years ago.
So I'm, you're talking in my home spot, even though I understand this market sale pretty well. I like to talk dairy. And, cows that we were pretty proud of in our barn or even to take to the fair, even 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they're nothing special today.
Right.
We got way better cows. So it's pretty exciting to go out and see those herds and what they're like.
Tritz hog sells for $2,300. Purchased by Weiler Convenience Stores. All right, we've got Briggs Bowman up next to market lamb out of the Meadowbrook 4-H, son of Angie Bowman. Lamb weighs 123. I think the thing that's always been amazing is you look at the dairy herd size in Wisconsin. It's always been 1.23, 1.27 million head. So cow numbers don't change, but production per cow has just steadily increased.
A lot of dynamics there. So, production per cow. I mean, there's a lot, quite many herds over 30,000 pounds of milk per cow now. And, you and I are old enough to know a time when there was nary a herd over 20,000.
Oh.
Right?
I remember I was working
if you had a 20,000-pound herd.
Back in the 80s, and I think probably 1980, and Abel Acres, 108 cows in official test, hit 20,000.
Yeah, it was like newsworthy.
Oh my gosh, unheard of. Yes.
And they won't be able to continue to improve once they made that level.
Yeah, they're buying their milk and all that. All right. Animal sells for $1,000, purchased by Doyne Excavating, that of Briggs Bowman. Now we've got Carson Klum, market hog rather, out of the Richville 4-H. Carson.
A thing that happens fair-related with those more productive cows is if you bring a modern dairy cow to the fair, she's a lot of work. She eats a tremendous amount of feed, and most of it is not made into milk. Most of it we have to haul out by the wheelbarrow.
Yep.
So...
and you think about how much of that cow, because of the stress of being moved and in a different location, the milk production slips a bit.
Yeah. So concurrent with this Marshfield Fair here, the big-time registered summer shows are down in Madison right now. There's a red and white show, a Holstein show, and a Jersey show. And those people, because those cows need to acclimate, they come in, where at this show we brought animals in Monday, and then yesterday we showed these market sale animals. Mm-hmm. And they bring those big-time shows, they bring those animals in, or World Dairy Expo. Some of them are there a week before
Right.
they show.
This is Carson Klum, Roselva Rockets 4-H. Or Richfield 4-H, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was when you said that, I said, all right, I gotta look at my spreadsheet. Yeah.
Hog weighs 279, and this one shows a lot of Duroc.
Yes. You showed pigs, didn't you?
No, I did not. My brothers did, but I did not.
Well, how did you get out of that?
I don't like pigs. I like bacon. I like ham. I don't.
You like the
pigs.
product.
Yeah.
You know, they were interviewing Wisconsin State Fair, just completed, 10 days ago or whatever.
Hog sells for $2,300, purchased by Wisconsin Trucking, or Truck Equipment, rather.
They had 1 million. We were pretty proud of Clark County Farm Tech Days, and 46,000, 43,000 paid whatever people that came through the gate.
Yeah.
And Wisconsin State Fair claims they had 1 million people come to that fair this year.
And remember before the pandemic, that fair had hit 1 million, I think.
Yeah.
And if you're down there and you stand up on top between the dairy barn and the milking parlor, you can look down across the fairgrounds.
And there's just a mass of
It's
people.
solid. It's just solid people. Matter of fact, the draft horse exhibitors were talking about that at Neilsville because they show at State Fair. And they talked about it's just unreal. And we're all from small towns up here in rural Wisconsin. And you look down and the mass of humanity.
Well, what an opportunity if a fraction of those, which probably a pretty good fraction of those people, actually do take a pass through either a horse barn or
the
dairy barn.
Or the beef barn.
Yeah.
Yep. Macy Close, the market hog out of the Roselva Rockets, daughter of Scott and Carrie Close. Hog weighs 246, and that sells for $1,800 to Forward Bank. Okay, there we go. All right, we've got Aaron Griesbach in right now. Aaron with the Town and Country 4-H market hog weighs 272, daughter of Wesley and Marcy Griesbach. And State Fair is always kind of, it's an urban area, and, you often wonder, one of the big challenges of production agriculture, especially animal livestock, is to educate urban areas. Is it a good educational process? Are they learning something? I think of the birthing barn and things like that down the State Fair. That
they work hard at it.
Yeah.
The cows got to get milked, and so the milking area, they have a section that's behind glass
with bleachers out front,
so people can see the cows get milked. Yeah.
I always laugh about the milking parlor in the horse barn.
Yeah, it's a beautiful building. I suppose that's 30 years old now.
Yeah, it is.
But they tore down all these old buildings and they built that two-deck barn, and it was going to be a dairy barn, and it's never had dairy cattle in it.
No, it's always been horses ever since.
But they dairy cows go over there to get milked. So.
Griesbach's hog sells for $3,500, purchased by Automated Products. All right, we've got Nora Meisner, daughter of Jason and Jody Meisner, dairy beef from the Golden Glow 4-H again. And this one weighs 1533, so this is a big one.
Big one.
This is tall.
I want to stay with that State Fair thing, though. Some people think that 4-H desensitizes kids to the fate of these animals. And, that's not the purpose. It's husbandry and how to take care of animals. But there was a cute interview of a kid down there that was selling a pig, and the interviewer was asking them, well, are you going to feel bad when you sell your pig? And she said, well, I will, but whenever I feel bad, I think about brats. I thought it was pretty good for a 4-H kid,
Yeah. It is. These kids do get attached to these animals. There's no question about it. We noticed that at Clark County, especially some of these that this is their last year. And,
oh, yeah.
And, it's just, it is. All right. And Meisner's steer sells for $3,500. Or, excuse me, $4,500. Purchased by Forward Bank. All right, here's Jamie Lindo, market lamb of the Marshfield FFA, daughter of Kevin and Ann Lindo. Lamb weighs 133.
So the market sale treats all these bidders and buyers to a meal before the sale. And they have the Marshfield FFA alumni prepare that meal. It was in Grandma's gazebo just outside of here. Very nice setting. And they had pulled pork, but the Lindo family brought in, it's kind of traditional, they've done a few years, lamb meatballs.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they're pretty good. So,
All right, Lindo's lamb goes for $1,200. Purchased by Nelson Jameson.
so they bought a few tonight now.
Yes. All right, next up we go to Brandon Drexler, market hog out of the Roselville Rockets. Hog, he is the son of Luke and Christy Drexler. Hog weighs 267. Well, and for a lot of these, now beef you don't, but for hogs and lambs, you start with a couple, don't you? 2 or 3, and then kind of as they develop, you choose which one is the one you're going to take to the fair.
Oh, less so for beef, you're saying? Or
Pardon me?
which species do you
For lambs and for hogs.
Well, I suppose the smaller ones,
Yeah.
we used to have really strict rules that, let's say you have 4 kids and they're all in the pig project, they could enter up to 3, okay? But they couldn't share. So if you had 4 kids, all of a sudden you're raising 12 pigs, which is a lot for, a lot of people would pick a pig project because I can fit them in a smaller, older building or something like that. So now they've changed that you can have a family pig. So you can keep all the records on and everything, and you might switch between people.
Drexler's animal sells for $1,900, purchased by H&S Manufacturing. And now we got Alana Cherney, daughter of Aaron and Carol Lee Cherney. North County Line 4-H, market hog weighs 276. So the family hog, so they can, is it one hog or they can have a couple of hogs?
Well, they usually have their own hog, but then they have a flex hog, so
kind of like the car you use for parts.
Yeah. Well, things happen, right?
Yep.
So it's a good idea.
Well,
Because it's pretty heartbreaking if you raised your pig, well, any of them, and then something happens to them. It could be as simple as on a steer, well, it got ringworm.
Yep.
You don't want to bring
Or
it to
warts.
fair. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not like anything tragic happened to the animal, but you can't come to sale. It can be a lot worse than that. Some breaks a leg or something like that, but
Or the pig gets sick, doesn't eat for a week.
or it doesn't gain the weight it needs to, or right. My kids showed sheep, and they also showed dairy beef. And then one year we were going to branch out. We're going to buy a beef animal, and we didn't really know what we were doing. And we bought an Angus that was really small framed, and it was finished. It was like a 950-pound steer.
A little light.
A little light. We got it to the weight it needed to be, but we were 100th of a pound underneath the average daily gain it needed.
Cherney's animal sells for $2,600, purchased by Wisconsin Dairy State Cheese. And now we have Levi Landwer with a market beef. Levi, the son of T.J. Landwer and Susan Zaleski. He's with the Badger 4-H. Animal weighs 1229, so this one's back to, so what is this a combination of?
I worked with Susan in the ring. I announced yesterday in the beef show, and Susan Olaszewski kept the books with me. And, that could be a lot of different things.
Yeah, this is a solid beef animal, but...
very much so. It's red. It's got a little bit of baldy, but not a full baldy head to it. And you could have red Angus in there, right? So you could have a lot of things going on in there.
I was going to say, it's certainly not a Hereford head. It's got Hereford colors, but not a Hereford head.
Right. But it could have an 1/8 or something of Hereford in there, right?
Sells for $42.50, purchased by Custom Meats of Marathon, which...
When people go out and buy their market steers, they do some, you want to look for an animal that's good muscling, good natural width, looks like it's going to have a good frame. You do want an animal with a good skeletal structure, because when they judge, they talk a lot about soundness of the feet and legs and so forth. But then kids branch out and say, this one has got really weird spots. And I think the judge, I'm going to have a good animal, and the judge is going to have a hard time forgetting those spots. And everyone else bring all these black steers in.
We had one in Clark County that had kind of tiger stripes on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're right.
Streaks vertical.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a trait. Or they like hair. These bulls that are known as club calf bulls, besides being stylish and having good natural width, they grow hair way more than just a commercial Angus bull that you could, really good bull in AI. Because if you see what these kids do with the hair.
With the clippers.
Yeah. They blow them up and put them sideways, that hair. So you're kind of out of the business if you can't grow a good crop of hair on your steer.
Emma Doorhorst, Market Hog with the Junior Holstein Club. Daughter of Dr. Matthew and Molly Doorhorst. The hog weighed $298. Sells for $1,700. Purchased by Wheelers of Marshfield. And now we go to Ben Wilforth, Market Hog with Country Kids 4-H. Son of Adam Wilforth and Carmen Vasquez. Hog weighs $261. Matter of fact, I was talking to an exhibitor, a grandpa of an exhibitor at Clark County. He got talking about his grandson has developed the knack for being able to clip animals. And he's in demand. And that's, yep.
So if we were over at the clerks here, we're a quarter way through the sale. So, sometimes, it was thought, well, you wanted to be in the first part of the sale. These bidders will run out of money, and you don't want to be there at the end of the sale. I think that's less true than it once was.
I think they come here specifically to purchase animals from specific customers.
And we've had really solid averages, and we've had people do really well all the way through. That's part of why the champions are at a lot of these sales at the end, because people want to see the champions, so they'll stay.
It's a drawing factor. Wilfred's animal sells for $2,200 and purchased by Krings Motorsports, LLC. Now we go to Austin Niehaus, the Market Lamb. He's with McMillan Mavericks 4-H, the son of Brian and Kim Niehaus, and the lamb weighs 137. I've always said these sales are probably more a reflection of what kind of business mom and dad do.
Well, it's definitely true. So and market sales struggle with that because they certainly would like that the kids that put in that we see at the fair and say this kid did really well in showmanship. They've really improved. They really work hard. They're really pleasant. That would be our criteria. Who should sell well, right?
Right.
And then these bidders, a lot of them were busy running their businesses. They weren't even here to see the show. So, they know mom and dad, and they know that I haul their milk every day, or I just built this, put robots on their farm, or whatever. I sell them a lot of feed, whatever that is. And so, these bidders come with a list of whose animals they're going to look at. And if your family does a lot of business with a lot of different people, that's good for your prospects of doing well.
You definitely want to keep that customer happy. Niehaus's animal sells for $1,700, purchased by State Bank Financial. And now we go to Kendron Klum, Market Hog, weighs 255, son of Josh and Deanna Klum, Richfield 4-H.
We've had trouble with the PA system, haven't we?
They lost it again, huh? Not my problem. I was thinking, didn't Wood County Farm Technology Days put the PA system in this place?
Hey,
I believe we did.
We put money in.
Yes.
It's been. I think they come with their own. I think they're using a different PA system. Yeah.
Well, they should go back to the other one. Well, come to think of it, they used to have speakers set out, and I'm looking where the speakers are up in the. There used to be horns right in the middle of the building here, but I don't see them at all. I don't know where the speakers are.
Yeah, those ones that were always pointing are
right.
Because that was always the thing is if you were talking on the mic and you were moving around in the ring, if you got in the wrong spot, then that was the feedback zone.
Okay.
Right? Yep.
Klum's animal sells for $3,200, purchased by Weiler's Convenience Stores. Now we go to Noah Landwer, Market Beef. Noah with a Badger 4-H and son of Dan and Carla Landwer. And the beef weighs 1,087.
So one of the lighter weight
Yeah,
ones.
I was going to say, and he's small. I mean,
Yep.
this is... So how do you judge an animal like this compared to, the 1,400-pound beef that comes in? You
Well,
look at finish.
first for the judge, if you've never seen the show, they weigh these steers the evening before, and they don't just, they're all entered in the market animal class, also for the pigs and the lambs, but then they all get weighed. And then we rank them in order from lightweight to heavyweight. And in most of these species, it may not be the absolute heaviest, but in that upper range of weights is usually the odds are where your better animals at the end are going to be from. Maybe not the absolute highest weight, but in the top third or so often. But they split them out in heats. So we had, we must have showed 30 steers. I don't know. And we split them into two dairy beef classes and 5 market beef classes. So there was only like 5 or 6 animals in a group.
Okay.
So, and some of those groups only varied by 25 pounds from the highest to the lowest from the weight the evening
So
before.
pretty uniform.
So that takes out some of that frame stuff. Is that the judge is looking at? But they still may be. One might be tiny but compact and thick, and another one might be rangier but thinner. So you still get different skeletal structure even within those weight brackets.
So the smallest steer we've had so far sells for $4,750. So size isn't everything.
Right.
Huge service in Villador with the buy. All right, we've got Parker Burgess, Market Hog, North County Line 4-H, son of Robert and Ricky Grassel, and the hog weighs 267. So then do you bring the steers back in, the winner of each heat, and end up going for the champion?
To pick your champions, yes. And they do that. I think the pigs had 12 weight classes, or there's more.
Yeah, when you have that many pigs.
Yeah.
Now, you have hogs that don't make the sale? You have animals that don't make the sale?
That don't make weight, for sure.
Yep. All right.
But we used to be able to you had to make weight. You had to also make rate of gain, but we didn't. That actually was like a pandemic-related thing, too, let's not bring all those animals in.
All right.
So now we don't have a minimum average daily gain for these animals.
You don't do the weigh-ins anymore?
We don't do weigh-ins, but we collect a sample so we can randomly select animals and check their DNA to make sure that this animal that is a fair was on your farm earlier in the spring when we collected samples.
You can't go out and buy a new one right before.
Yeah.
You can't trade before the trading deadline. Hog sells for $1,700, and it was purchased by Gardner Cold Storage, so another buy for Gardners. All right. This is Tanner Wiskerson, a Market Hog, weighs 272. Tanner, the son of Tricia and Wiskerson and Jim Wiskerson, Country Kids 4-H.
And years back, Wiskerson, he was would be Grandpa, right? Was chairman of the market animal sale, and Grandma, she was on the committee. So some of these names are around in the sale a long time.
And that's one of the, I guess, the heritages of fairs, and especially 4-H and FFA is, you showed against people when you were showing, and your kids showed against their kids, and now your grandkids are showing against their grandkids.
Yeah, you're right. Very much so.
All right, Wisconsin's animal sells for $3,000, goes to D.C. Steinley Companies. Okay, that's a new one. We have Uriah Meisner, dairy beef, Golden Glow 4-H, son of Jason and Jody Meisner. And the animal weighs 1,375. And it's a little girl with a big steer.
Holstein, yeah.
Yep.
Meisner, Golden Glow.
Another one of those.
Hey, you see what our sponsor, our host group here, what they're doing right now?
Yeah, they're eating in front of us, no less. Did you bring some for everyone? Here, you put these on.
But it's dairy product, I think. Is that what I'm seeing?
Are they cream puffs? Deep-fried Oreos and deep-fried cookie dough.
Oh.
Well, I guess I know where I'm going after the sale.
It's always good if it's deep-fried, right?
It's always better. Wasn't that at State Fair where they got deep fried butter?
There's a health food.
Yeah, says the guy with the bypass.
Yeah, and but it's be even better if you put it on a stick.
Yep, always. Miser's Animal sells for $4,500.
Good price.
Purchased by Gardner Cold Storage with another buy here. All right, this is Avery Stickert, Market Hog out of the Golden Glow 4-H. Avery is daughter of Eric and Tammy Stickert. Hog weighs 278.
This one's got a nice stripe on the front shoulder.
Yeah, this is Hamp.
Yep. We had one that was marked like that, only it didn't get the black again on the head. It was like half black and half white. That was.
You never know what the colors. So we talked about, on steers that will a unique color due to your advantage.
Yes.
You don't really find, you find unique marked hogs. They're all different. All right, hog sells for $4,500, purchased by Lindo.
I'm guessing, I don't know this for a fact, but I think if you'd go commercial hogs that people are raising, and there'd be more variety in what shows up at the fair than what are in the pens and the commercial hogs. In colors.
More variety at the fair? More
I think
variety
so.
in the commercials? Yeah, I think once you get to a certain cross or a certain combination of crosses.
you want them to be really consistent.
Because that's what the market wants.
Yep.
This is Aubrey Niznik, Market Lamb with the Kerry Go-Getters 4-H Club, daughter of Travis and Ashley Niznik. Lamb weighs 144.
Where is Kerry?
The Kerry Go-Getters?
Yeah, where is that?
I don't know. You're the Wood County guy.
Oh, I do know. I just thought you were very knowledgeable, and you probably know that. So in Clark County, Pittsville things, in Clark County, the town of Sherwood is a lot of it goes to Pittsville School District.
Sure, yep.
Cary is west of Pittsville just before you get to Clark County.
Oh, then I've driven through it and wasn't aware of it.
Yeah, if you've taken 73 between Pittsville and Neilsville, you've gone through the town of Cary. But
it sells for $1,000, goes to Landwer Fence, LLC. All right, next up we have Jonathan Klum, Market Hog out of the Richfield 4-H, son of Josh and Deanna Klum. Hog weighs 292.
So many of these clubs have branched out from their original kind of geographical definition. So we have two main clubs in the Pittsville area. We have Pleasant Corners and Cary Go-Getters, and they're both like community-wide. You know, it's not, if you live west of town, you need to go to Cary. It's not a thing anymore. And a lot of these clubs are that way, right? It's if you're into a project that they have a really good leader in, or your friends are there.
It's kind of interesting to watch the transition of clubs and how they sway, grow, decline, grow, decline. We're talking about that in Clark County. For years, two of the big clubs around Greenwood were the Greenwood Satellites and Brown 4-H. And Brown 4-H is gone, and Greenwood Satellites is diminishing.
It's a lot smaller.
But now there's a new one called Rock Creek Rangers, I think. Or
Rock
whatever
Creek
they are.
Rangers, yeah.
Which is kind of up in that area, northwest between Greenwood and Loyal, up along Rock Creek. I was a proud member of the Prosperity Pea Pickers in my day.
I think we've had this discussion before.
And that's no longer there. But that spun off the Loyal Lads and Lassies, which is now a big club. Sells for $3,200, purchased by Forward Investment Services.
I think our Clark County host farm for Farm Tech Days, they have 4-H age kids. I think they're members of the Loyal Lads and Lassies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bentley, Wisconsin, Market Beef. And this one's a Hereford. He's with the Meadowbrook 4-H.
All Hereford. Yep.
Son of Rob and Vicky Wisconsin. And this one weighs 1367. That's a solid Hereford. One thing I've noticed at this sale always is the beef are always calm coming in here. And for years in Clark County, when we sold in that dairy arena, they had to bring them across the street or across the road at night, and they'd come through that walk-in door.
And they were just spooked.
They were nervous. They were just a mess. And now in this new barn, they're just as calm as can be. And that's the same thing happening here.
but they still have to cross the street here. So now yours in your new building, the sale itself is in the very same building that they're housed.
Yeah, as I stand on the podium, steers are to the left of me, hogs are to the right, and sheep behind me.
It's a nice design.
It is.
Where 17th Street is a City of Marshfield street that just goes right through the fairgrounds here.
Sells for $6,000, purchased by V&H Automotive.
Did you notice that Bentley was pretty short in stature?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's first year. He's
yeah,
a pretty
because that's
short
kind of
guy.
what struck me was how calm that steer was, and he's just a little guy.
Yeah, a little guy.
And he had no problem. And, I mean, there's times we'd had 3 people on the head of those steers.
Yeah.
So, yep.
That was a well-trained steer.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Clay Neiman, Market Hog out of Shady Lane 4-H, son of Donnie and Kim Neiman. Hog weighs 269.
So you had a new barn last year in Clark County. Still new. We got a new street this year.
Yeah, 17th. I haven't actually walked. I was on the other end of it because my daughter lives down there. And that part's not finished. She's at the corner of
you cannot
Cedar.
come in. If you used to come in from downtown and take a jog and come in on 17th from the west, it's tore up.
Right.
But they did promise that they'd have it done through the fairgrounds. And it's wider, and there's sidewalks on both sides, and our wash racks and our milk house. The milk house used to plumb into a cistern, and then we'd pump it out across the grounds, and it would seep to the street. So now it's
seep to the street.
Yeah, it was not good.
Term?
So now it's plumbed into 17th Street.
Yeah, 17th is going to have sidewalk all the way down to
nice curb.
Yeah. $3,500 for the animal, purchased by Stofflet Logging.
So I had almost forgotten, but last year show day, the day of this was rain all day long. I think by the evening it had gotten a little better, but we got a lot of rain last year.
Okay.
And that's happened quite often, the Marshfield Fair.
Yep.
And it's Marshfield, right? So this
aptly named.
I was noticing at Neilsville this year. You know, I think years ago you came in off of Highway 10 or off the east side, but now the main entrance they're encouraging the public come in is on the south side.
Mm-hmm.
And when you take that little boulevard there and you look further to the south, you're up in there pretty high there at the fairgrounds.
That's really, yes.
So not so much here. It gets pretty low here, and you know, we've many years had farmers in with tractors pulling people out, and you thought you were going to leave, and it'd be hours because you had to get pulled out, and hopefully you didn't beat up your car too bad.
Bit of a quagmire out there.
And you'd have to give up like quarter of or maybe half of your parking lot some years because
underwater.
It couldn't be. And they fixed a lot of that. With 17th Street now, there's a nice patch of gravel down there.
I'm still in the grass, though. So.
The handicapped area, that was sad. You know, you're handicapped, but you couldn't park there because it was mud. Now it's gravel.
Tiffany Carl with that Market Hog from Country Kids. And that sold, and she's getting the numbers for us here. It was purchased by Innovative Machine Specialists, and it sells for $1,500. And now we got Taylor Wilson, Market Hog of the Cary Go-Getters 4-H Club, which is just west of Pittsville.
I'm glad I taught you some geography.
Her parents are Michael and Jamie Wilson. Hog weighs 270. I think that's one of the things that's kind of unique about Wood County is you do have these large rural areas. Pittsville School District is huge.
Oh, yeah.
You really only have 4 high schools in the county.
Well, parochial schools too.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. So Marshfield has got Marshfield High School and Columbus, and
you have Pittsville and
Auburndale, Wisconsin Rapids, and then they don't really participate in the sale, but there's Port Edwards and Nakusa and Assumption.
Are actually in the county, but
yeah. But 4-H wise, Wittenberg workers, we've had a lot of Nakusa area kids in the sale. And we've had more Southern Wood County bidders in recent years, too. Well, it's not the southeast corner of the county, but how many have Gardner's bought so far? They're Southern Wood County.
Wilson's Animal sells for $1,800. purchased by Nakusa Coated Products. All right, we've got Jackson Stanton, Market Lamb, out of the Badger 4-H, son of Chris and Ann Stanton. Lamb weighs 134, and that's a lot more than what Jackson weighs. Even with his boots.
Yeah, he is a little guy, isn't he? But those are nice boots.
It's great to see you, but I mean, this guy is giving it his all. He is just up there showing that lamb, and
that's what it's all about.
That is. That's great.
I mean, it's nice to see the kids develop through their projects, and when they're ready to graduate out, that's an impressive thing.
Lamb goes for $1,300, purchased by Wisconsin Rental and Leasing. Now we've got Carter Luke, Market Hog out of Roselva Rockets 4-H, son of Matthew and Luke and Martine Bradel Luke, and the hog weighs 276.
So there's that one block south of Stratford there where Nighthawk Dairy, the Likes, and Bradels. That's
and
Cardinal.
Who's the robots just to the north?
Yeah,
of too. I was trying to think of what their name is as well.
Yeah, so Martine Bradel, Lewick. So that's where these animals are from.
I was wondering how the Bradels got hogs. I don't know.
You know, a lot of dairy farmers like to show hogs because their kids can raise a lot of money for college. And they learn about another species and what they have on their farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of cows in close proximity there.
Well, and Likes in the 70s, that was Farm Tech Days.
I remember that. That is the first time I met Les Leonard.
Oh.
With that show.
I think that was my first Farm Tech Days that I went to. Because our height, that was close, when I was in high school.
Sells for $1,750, purchased by Hay Creek Pallet Company. All right, sounds like we got a PA system back. James Poundcrats, market beef out of the Auburndale FFA, Bruce and Peggy Poundcrats' son, and the beef weighs 1218. Yes, Les was doing Daybreak at that time with Bill Haft out of, what was the station in Baraboo, and we carried it at WDLB.
So you were at WDLB already?
That was the first summer I worked there, and I was doing the overnights. And so then Les and Bill came in to do Daybreak, the 3 days of the show, live from our studios.
So he wasn't part of WDLB yet?
No.
You were there before he was?
I was, then I left for a while. But I was there before he was. He came in, I want to say 76.
Okay.
This would have been 74. And so, I remember he came in and he had a rooster. He's carrying a little box with a cover over it. And
he was a promoter, wasn't he?
He'd raise the cover on that rooster, and he'd see light. That rooster would crow. He'd crow on cue.
Oh,
yep.
He was quite the gentleman.
Bangrat's steer sells for $3,000, purchased by Gardner Cold Storage once again here.
Yeah, they've been good, strong tonight.
All right, next up we've got Zachary Bauer, Market Hog out of the Golden Glow 4-H. Son of Steve and Becky Bauer. Hog weighs 269. Yeah, likes that show. Didn't that get wet at one point too?
Well, and you and I have been involved in several Farm Tech Day committees, and the tent city itself, it should have good road access. It should be well drained. So in Wood County, we picked a field, and then it was too steep. We moved it on the Hyman Sternweiss properties. We moved it because, you can't stake the tents out on a place that's too steep. And I think if you go back, Likes was the bottom end of that field got a little wet.
Yep, yeah. It was. It was on the, when I drive by that field, I always think of.
Oh, there's that big ditch. That was a problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the field demonstrations were across the highway, were they not? And you had to climb up the side banks of the highway.
Quite a big built-up road there, yeah. So it wasn't thinking back. They've gotten fussier probably about where to put that.
Zach Bauer's hog sells for $27.50, purchased by Wisconsin Farm Business. And we go to Lily Hasenoil, Market Hog, Country Kids 4-H, daughter of Paul and Jill Hasenoil. Hog weighs 278. Well, that you're at Edgar at, what was it was a hyphenated name. I can't think of the name of the farm. It's the corner of Edgar, Highway 29 and E there.
Yeah.
Ross Hart.
Yep.
And that had a heck of a hill on it too on 10.
Oh yeah. Well, that part of Marathon County is, right? Pretty rolly. So bell bottoms are back in style now. Is that? I guess they are, aren't they? I've been out so long.
I hung on to mine. Did you?
Oh, did you?
I don't think the waist would fit anymore.
Yeah.
The bells would fit.
Too much deep fried butter, is that what you
Yeah,
said?
there we go. And Louis' animal goes for $3,000, purchased by Macmillan Electric. Now we've got Bruce Theo, market beef, out of the Meadowbrook 4-H, son of Bill and Barb Thiel.
Bryce.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Bryce
Thiel. Yeah, you're right, Bruce. Bruce Thiel is the guy I used to know. Bryce Thiel. Animal weighs 1220.
And this is a family that has shown a lot of Holstein steers because they're dairy farmers. Tell them what you're seeing here. What's the marking on this animal?
It's Holstein. I can see the front.
I think we got kind of a line back going, a white stripe down the back and then speckly. And
okay, I haven't seen the back on it yet.
Well, he'll turn it for you.
Oh, yeah, there we do.
So there's something that's going to catch the judge's eye in the ring.
That is unique. You're right. That's a unique color. All right. And the animal sells for $5,500, purchased by Wisconsin Dairy State Cheese. All right, we've got Courtney Bauer, daughter of Steve and Becky Bauer, Golden Glow 4-H market hog, weighs 267, and a Hampshire.
A Hampshire. Yes, that same marking.
So do you judge it all? Do you judge?
Okay, this summer I went up to Medford. So I'd say some, not loads, but I went up to Medford, which Taylor County is, it's a smaller fair. So I judged the dairy show there and then took a break and judged the dairy goats. And they had an entirely different judge to judge the meat type goats, which is really nice. And then I judged in Wausau, I judged goats. And in Neillsville, I'm a very versatile judge. I judged vegetables in Neillsville. And then I got called up the day of the goat show because the goat judge didn't show up. So I judged the goats. Yeah.
The dairy goats.
I did all of those. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bauer's animal sells for $1,500.
And then there's one other judging event I should mention. I got recruited to be part of the chocolate baking contest, which is a team judging event.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
So you have to concur with others?
Yes. And the Clark County Ferris, the fair, was one of the judges. And,
okay.
Yeah. And their county board member. Yeah. And they get a very nice audience for that because when it's all done and we announce our results, then they cut up the rest of the chocolate and serve it to the audience. It's really a nice tradition, right?
We could do that with bacon at the market animal sale.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's sponsored by the Clark County Dairy Promotion Committee. And they also have in June, they have a dairy recipe. So they're big in recipe promotions in Clark County. You've never been tapped into that?
The chocolate judging?
Yeah.
No. I'm slighted here.
Well, you got to pace yourself.
So,
if the entries get too high, you're going to be in pain at the end, right?
Lily Andrews with the market lamb weighing 130 sells for $1,400, purchased by RevCycle Incorporated. And now we have animal number 57 in the ring. This is Devin Cherney, market hog from the North County Line 4-H, son of Aaron and Carolee Cherney, and the hog weighs 262.
This is a black one.
Yes.
Jet black.
So who did you have to pay off to get into the chocolate judging here?
The family living educator in Clark County is tasked with finding the judges.
Ah.
So I work right across the hall from her. When she
It's who you know.
When she suggested maybe I could do that, I didn't hesitate. I said,
Oh, if I have to. Cherney's animal sells for $13.50, purchased by Pat Richardson Milk Hauling. And now we go to Emma Bangert, Marshfield FFA, Market Hog. She is the daughter of Rick and Peggy Bangert. Hog weighs 264.
so I can tell you a story about this girl. She's been very active in the dairy project, and she got herself elected to the state Holstein Junior Activities Committee. And every other year at the state convention, which this year was in Fort Atkinson, they have we can't call it slave auction anymore, right? It's a labor auction. So the royalty, the Holstein Princess and attendant, and the Junior Activities Committee, they all sell. And usually it's somebody from where they come from that buys them. And there were 3 kids from Wood County that sold. And I ended up buying all 3 of them because there wasn't anyone else there. And so now that was February, and I hadn't gotten any of my labor back out of them yet. So she's going off to River Falls. She's busy with the fair. I better get her to help me some. And they were busy with the Athens show. They went to Athens Fair too.
Last weekend?
Yeah, and so she had very limited time, and she came and curried up some calves. So we have a fitter special here at the Marshfield Fair. So I have these calves trained to lead, and the kids have 1 hour to clip them up to be show ready. And then Nicole Prawley, Clark County girl, she was our judge. So Emma got those heifers ready, and then she didn't use up her hours, and I had her wash calf hutches, and she's a good girl. I'm pretty high on her right now.
Yeah,
so.
she did well.
Yep.
She did. Wise purchase. Emma's animal sells for $3,000, purchased by Marshfield Vet Service. And then we had Rachel Poundcrats, Auburndale FFA Market Beef, daughter of Bruce and Peggy Poundcrats. Animal weighs 1149, goes for $32.50, purchased by Insight FS of Stratford. All right, now we go to Callie Bell, the Golden Glow 4-H, daughter of Josh and Lacey Bell. Hog, Market Hog weighs 272.
And now we got a white one.
You know, one of the things that's neat to see, and you mentioned like Emma being involved in the Holsteins, and you know how many of these. This is not their only rodeo. They're involved in a lot of things over the course of the year.
Yes.
Not to mention playing football and playing volleyball and whatever else at school.
So this one's got a Farm Tech Day connection too. When we had the Farm Tech Days in Marshfield, and we said it was on the Hyman and Sternweiss farms. There was just a little corner of Tent City was actually on the Bell farm.
Yep.
This girl's Josh and Janet. And Janet was very helpful with Farm Tech
Janet
Days
was
in
involved in Clark County.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, matter of fact, we were watching the recap video, and
Is she in it?
There's Janet. Yep.
Yeah.
The hog sells for $3,500, purchased by Marshfield Ag Service. All right, here's your chickens. All right, so now we have
chickens,
two naked neck mini Frizzle chickens. And we were talking about this before we went on air here.
And I did research.
So being the extension agent that he is, he looked it up. So tell us about the mini Fizzle chickens, naked neck mini Fizzle chickens.
Yeah, so they're obviously not a commercial breed.
They're about the size of pigeons.
Yeah. They look a little turkey-ish because turkeys kind of basically have a naked neck, right? So they're obviously a novelty animal that you could exhibit because it's unique. They're supposed to be quite hardy. And I told you where they originated from. Did you retain that piece of information?
No.
They're from Transylvania.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, because then that led into a series of comments about why the
vampires and
because vampires don't want feathers in them all. And this is going for what, the junior fair?
Yes.
The profits going. We're trying to Mark Z's up straightening him out about something.
So Mark Z is one of the Marshfield Ag instructors. He's been president of Market Animal Sale, and he is the beef department superintendent. His kids have been in the champions. They all graduated out pretty much.
Yep. And Mark is all gray now, and he wasn't when I first met him.
Yeah. So we got a different Mark, different ag instructor, the chairman now. Mark Knoyer in Auburndale is now the chairman of the Market Animal Sale. So,
but 2 stellar programs.
Oh, very much
Marshfield
so.
And Pittsville. Lindsay certainly has done a fine job down there as well.
We had a great FFA tradition in Wood County,
Yep.
I would say. Yep. I bet at the speaker stand in their 56 seconds per animal that they are not be able to convey all the information that we have about naked neck chickens.
Well, you did, and they're still up there.
Yeah.
Well, they brought in an alternative speaker system here.
Oh. So in Neilsville, I know more about Neilsville this year because you were back at the fairs and stuff,
Judging
right?
the chocolate.
Yeah, I was judging chocolate, but this is the first year you had goats in the market sale. You sold the goats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done chickens, we've done rabbits.
But those are kind of a specialty item like that. I think
we sold the top market rabbit and the top market
for a
chicken
while now.
For probably the last 5 years.
But now goats.
So
if they have 10 goats, do they get treated like 10 lambs, or is it 1 goat?
We just sold the grand champion, so I don't know.
Yeah. So the story there was...
See, in the rabbits and the chickens, we sold multiples for a couple years, but then we just went to just the grand champions.
So I told you I got to be the emergency goat judge, right? Mm-hmm. So they had some really nice meat quality goats at the Neilsville Fair, but they were in the breeding animal classes. The very best boar type width animals were breeding animals. But the young lad that brought in the goat in Neilsville brought in 2. You can only sell 1 in the sale, right?
Right.
So that was your goat. So.
All right, and the naked neck mini frizzle chickens sell for $600. Gardner Cold Storage, so you'll have frizzle chicken and cranberries.
So how will that do if they put it in the cold storage?
I'm thinking their necks are going to get cold. Yeah. All right, we've got Sofia Smurs, Market Hog, North County Line 4-H, daughter of Jesse and Kathy Smurs. The hog weighs 257.
And you were saying that you thought that they typed that wrong. Smurs.
No, there are names like that. It's just some are without vowels.
Yeah, in Clark County you have a lot of challenging names from up in Thorpe area.
Oh gosh, yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things. Now this setup that we have at Clark County, the kids are further below me. In the old barn, the old sale, they were just below about our countertop, so I could lean over quick and ask them how they pronounce their names.
And you can't anymore.
Well, now you can, but it's a little tougher to get their attention.
So that box is available for other events, right? It stays in that building?
Yes. Yep.
So the Holstein Breeders had their District 4 Holstein show in that brand new barn this year.
Yep.
And I got to MC that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And I felt like I was up in heaven.
It's up in the air.
Yeah.
But that barn is high. I mean, although this one's up in the air quite a bit here, too. By the way, Smurs Market Hog sells for $2,000, purchased by Hughes Service of Belvedere. And now we go to Sarah Snordheim, market lamb from the Auburndale FFA, daughter of Dan and Cindy Snordheim. Lamb weighs 140. Yeah, that box is up in the air, and we talked about, we had mentioned, we don't have the hogs up in the air. The hogs are on the floor. Now we have, seating on chairs in front, and then bleacher seating, but the people in the chairs, can they see the hog or not?
And you're saying they could be a little higher for them.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
In the old sale barn, we did have them up in the air. But this platform here has always worked really well. I mean, over the years.
Well, they've worked hard on this one. Now, you guys just had to reimagine your whole facility when you went in that new.
Right.
So I'm sure it's much better than what you had.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, the biggest thing was, I think, there was a lot of squealing. The hogs were, they didn't want to go up there, and so There was a lot of gnashing and grinding of teeth.
About what?
Getting the hogs in the sale, and they used to have to haul the hogs from the hog barn up to the dairy barn to the show ring.
Yep.
And so this is at night.
So they're all squealing bad.
And so they're not having a happy trip.
Right.
Right, and that was Snordime's Market Lamb sells for $17.50, purchased by Wheelers of Marshfield. And now we go to Lucas Okonek, Market Hog, from the Pleasant Corners 4-H, son of Jeffrey and Jenna Okonek. Hog weighs. Nope, we've got a beef in there. All right. We've got Ryan Burnick.
That's what that looks like. Yep.
Ryan Burnick, a dairy beef, Golden Glow 4-H. He's the son of Jason and Leah Burnick. And beef weighs 1435. If memory serves, Jason used to do well with dairy beef at the Clark County Fair.
Oh, and they've gotten more. I mean, when Jason was growing up, they were dairy farmers first and foremost. Yep. And now they're kind of like heifer raisers,
Custom
steer
heifer
raisers.
And then he also has bagging.
So they're getting more specialized.
Yep.
I'm still trying to do some research to bring some facts to the table here. So I'm
on
still
your mini fizzle chickens. Are you still?
Yeah. No. I've moved on.
So Burnick's beef sells for $4,000, and it goes to Drexler Transport. All right, we go to Isaac Burdan, Market Hog. He's with the Roselva Rockets 4-H, the son of Jason and Michelle Burdan. Hog weighs 276.
So the Burdan family has been integral to the grandpa. It helps, and grandma help check in all those pigs. They're
another one of those families that are here throughout the fair.
Yes, definitely.
$2,500 it sells for. Purchased by Seahafer Refrigeration of Marshfield. All right, we go to Mallory Cypress. Mallory with Market Hog, Richfield 4-H, daughter of Jason Cypress and Kim Ketting. And the hog weighs 276 as well. As you mentioned, boy, it's just a gorgeous night here. This is
beautiful,
setting.
Beautiful. Now, so we had that little shot of rain. That wasn't enough to really mess things up. Looks like we have another high chance of rain Saturday or Sunday. No, that's very important to a fair. These fairs run in pretty tight budgets.
Yep.
And if you lose a day,
you need the gate.
Yeah. Yep. So hopefully you have a good fair. You had great weather in Neilsville. You had some little bits of rain.
Yeah, it rained. On Friday, I think.
And we were looking for the rain. The farmers were.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was wanted. Sells for $2,700. Purchased by I-State Truck Center.
There goes a man that's very involved with the sale, Mike Sable. We were talking to him a little bit before his. He was. We were commenting. It was raining, and he felt. We don't need a lot more rain. These crops are just about made rain-wise.
They are.
Nice.
Have you been able to look at soybeans at all?
Yeah.
How do they look?
Well,
are the pods there? Are the pod count good?
What have you seen?
I haven't stopped and looked in the field. They look good from the road.
We have some really big for our, and the whole season was late, right?
Right.
The crops got in late, but we've been. There's pockets here, we really needed rain. But in general, despite that late start, I think the corn's been pretty even.
Oh, I think the corn came on really
Soybean.
strong.
Now we've been worried about the corn. There's this tar spot, this new leaf disease fungus that shut these plants down very rapidly late in the season. So we're a little worried about that, but the crops look outstanding, I would say.
Ella Stickert, market beef of the Golden Glow 4-H, the daughter of Wade and Heather Stickert. Beef weighed 1431, sells for $5,500, purchased by Central Mechanical Systems.
That's kind of a Clark County name, Stickert.
Yes. And then Wyatt Doorhorst, market hog. He's with the Junior Holstein Club, son of Dr. Matthew and Molly Doorhorst. And the hog weighs 282. I noticed, when we're getting ready the couple of weeks leading up to Farm Technology Days, and you're driving out there, and it's like, boy, some of these corn crops are just not where they should be.
They're behind.
And all of a sudden, boom. During the show, it really...
Well, at Farm Tech Days, in the extension area, we were planning for a couple of years out, we're going to have a demonstration plot. What are we going to plant on the ground? So that rail farm, nice big hill, nice soil. What can we plant in this? And we try to pick things that are currently of interest and relevant. And we wanted to get out there the first week of May and get our seeds in the ground. And, it was like almost the end of May before we got stuff in because, we sprayed our area with Roundup, and then we tilled it, and it was often too wet to till. And I think we were like, well, everything's gonna be really late, but we were pretty proud of our plot by the time of the show.
That looked great.
It really did a lot in those last 2 weeks.
All right, we had Wyatt Doorhorst with that hog, sells for $1,500. That was purchased by Innovative Machine. Now we've got Anna Marie Owie, market lamb out of North County Line 4-H, daughter of Dale and Kelly Owie. Lamb weighs 138. Yeah, the plot was so. You were looking at alternative crops, were you not? You were looking at.
So we had fiber hemp in there, which hemp, that is the non-drug version of marijuana.
But had to be cut immediately after the show, wasn't it?
Yeah, you had to have a permit. You had to have a permit to plant it yet. But it's only a couple of years ago we weren't allowed to demonstrate even the non-drug versions of the hemp versions we couldn't do. So that was kind of nice. And hemp is a pretty tall, responds to heat nicely. It's a nice, attractive plant. So they were big, and people know what that leaf looks like, right? So that was an attention getter. But there is, that is a current crop of interest. What can we do with hemp? We can do oil. We can do fiber. The CBD, you've heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
That what we had wasn't even CBD. It was just a fiber crop. And then we had, I'll let you talk.
Anna Marie Owie's animal sells for $3,500, purchased by Automated Products. And now we got Delaney Becker, and a market hog, weighs 282 pounds, daughter of Steve and Shelley Becker. She's with the Auburndale FFA. So a couple years ago, hemp was going to be the crop, and CBD was the big driver. And you ran into the processing facilities just didn't exist.
The infrastructure wasn't there.
Right, I remember.
And the interest, everybody, their brother, their uncle, and their cousin all planted the stuff.
Yeah, and planted because it was going to be this cash crop.
Right.
And there was no processing available. And the other thing that was, we had discussions at the bank because if the THC level exceeded, 2%?
You had to destroy your crop.
Yeah, they had to burn the crop.
And that's a genuine risk.
Yeah.
2% doesn't make it useful as a drug, but it's illegal.
That was the threshold.
Yeah. Yeah. So what has happened with that? The other point is politicians had to get involved to make it possible. So then, what are your initiatives? And so a lot of politicians were saying, this is going to be a huge boon for agriculture, a new crop that people can grow. And all of us who live agriculture and go every day, we don't want to lose. It's nice to gain a new tool in the toolbox, but I don't see this as the solution to make.
It was, by the way, Becker's animal sells for $1,700, purchased by Portobello's Farm Services. And now we go to Addison Bell, market hog out of the Golden Glow 4-H. Daughter of Josh and Lacey Bell, hog weighs 267. And the lack of processing, I remember when they started harvesting at that time, and there were people that took it. One guy I talked to that had some, and bagged it up and shipped it to Colorado. And that had been 2 or 3 months and still didn't know if it was going to be processed, much less what the CBD rate was going to be.
Yeah.
It was just really
So a lot of disappointed people.
Tremendously.
So just the year after that, so there was that initial year that it was possible to do. The next year, the interest was just a fraction.
Right.
Yeah. But I think, if you go back to World War II times, and
sure.
there was a value in that fiber, and CBD is something new that we didn't know about way back then. So, I think there's still a future there. But we got Farm Tech Days. That was going to be one of the things we were going to talk about in Innovation Square. Mm-hmm. And, I think some of that may come yet. But, yeah, I was always skeptical that it's going to just be this panacea to solve all problems.
Bell's Hog sells for $37.50, purchased by Northside Elevator out of Loyal. And now we have Madison Hankey, dairy beef, market beef rather, from Golden Globe 4-H, daughter of Melissa and Michael Hankey. Animal weighs $12.35. And that goes for $37.50.
Madison was a first-year exhibitor. Oh. So her mother showed beef, and now they're showing beef again.
Claire Doorhorst, Market Hog with the Junior Holstein Club, the daughter of Dr. Matthew and Molly Doorhorst. The hog weighs $270. The processing is still the big question. Where are you going to go with it?
Yeah.
And they talk about, how much fiber you can produce per acre, but if you can't do anything
and if you have to haul it bulk all the way to Colorado,
right?
That's a problem. Yeah.
I remember talking to Joel Heil. We had Joel come in and speak to a meeting that we had in January of the following year, and he did a lot with it. He really, and Joel's driver was, he had used CBD, and he believed in CBD.
Oh, there's a lot.
And he was thinking that if you can combine the qualities of ginseng with the quality of the CBD,
for sure,
you're onto a real product here. And I haven't talked to Joel since. I don't know how, but he was really heavily invested in.
Yeah.
And I know he was talking about harvesting and the different ways to harvest it and trying to figure out a way to harvest it. And anyway, he eventually bought one of these old New Holland choppers that had the 6 knives or the 9-knife machine, and he put 2 knives in and just ran that through and chopped it that way to harvest it. It was just, the system was just not there to handle it.
So we had that in our Farm Tech Day plot. And then, we had sunflowers, mainly because sunflowers are pretty. People want to come. But then we had some cover crops. We had a 16-species cover crop, and we had alternative forages. So we had Italian ryegrass, and then we had what we call cocktails, building on that Italian ryegrass, add legumes, add warm season annuals. So we had a lot of good stuff there. I'll let you catch up some more.
All right. Doorhorse animal sells for $1,700, and that was purchased by Matco Tools. And then next up we had Claire Bangert, Marshfield FFA Market Hog, weighing $259. Claire, the daughter of Rick and Peggy Bangert, and that sells for $2,000, purchased by Sternweiss and Sons. And now we have Jessica Lindo, Marshfield FFA, daughter of Kevin and Ann Lindo, and a Market Lamb weighing $141. And Jessica, of course, is our fairest of the fair.
Yes. We had Alice in Dairyland here this morning.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
All right.
Very pleasant. And she she's kind of a farm kid. She'd been involved in the Racine County Fair. So.
Yeah, we worked with her. Well, her first real big official duty was Clark County Farm Technology Days.
Yes.
And so she was terrific. Yes. Taylor Schaefer, just a very, very qualified individual.
Of course, their schedule, we couldn't get her all day and keep her here tonight.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, that was one of the things that we learned from Eau Claire County was they had someone haul her around at Farm Tech Days. And so we did that. We had one golf cart and one driver dedicated to her. And, boy, that really worked out well for her. And just as a result, you're able to get her to more places in a short amount of time. So it worked out well.
And you had the governor?
Lindo's lamb sells for $1,200, purchased by H&S Manufacturing. Now we have Jacob Boris, a Market Hog from Snyder 4-H, son of Terry and Lori Boris, and the hog weighs $285. Yes, the governor surprised me on the opening ceremony. He had the proclamation, and so he presents the proclamation to the rails, and hands the mic back to me, and I said, would you like to say something else? No, that's fine. And that was it.
Oh, I think it's great when whatever party, if your governor respects agriculture enough to come to a pretty important event, come to Farm
Well, I think
Tech
the
Days.
discussion we had prior to the Wood County show, before the opening ceremony, was the stars of the show are the host families. In Marshfield's case, the Hymans, and the Sternweises here, it was the Rails. And that's the main focus on that stage. And boy,
the governor respected that.
Oh, he did. He did well.
Yeah.
Randy Rasmussen, Secretary of Agriculture, spoke a little bit, but, again, very ag-oriented. So, right. Jacob Boris's hog sells for $2,000, purchased by Resch Companies. And now we've got Dylan Bangert, dairy beef out of the Marshfield FFA, son of Rick and Peggy Bangert. The steer weighs 1378. This is a slim steer. He's tall, but, very slim.
Yeah, I can't dispute that.
But at 1378, on that height,
It's got a big frame.
Yeah, you're hiding a lot of.
But it could probably be fed a little longer and still be all right, right?
It's kind of a tight end as opposed to a lineman.
Yeah. Yep.
So now this is what, the third year the fair has been on this weekend? Boy, we didn't have the fair in 2020.
You're probably right that we actually, I think we'd switched already before the pandemic.
Right.
So yeah, you're probably right.
All right, steer sells for $4,000, purchased by Ag Country Farm Credit. And now we go to Alice Otto, Market Hog out of North County Line 4-H, daughter of Brian and Jody Otto. Hog weighs 258. So jury's still out on the move, and I know they made the change because of the carnival, and now that's changed.
Oh, so I don't really know. I guess I heard. I think you're implying to that. They had a hard time finding a quality carnival on that Labor Day weekend slot because there's a lot of fairs. There's a lot of places to be. So that was one of the motivations to move a week earlier. Well, you've had this event that's over 100 years old, and I don't know for the whole 100 years, but for 50, 60, 70 of them, it's been Labor Day weekend, right?
I can vouch for 67 of them, or 66 of them anyway.
Yeah, so, that's a big move to undertake. And you were, involved with the draft horses, and we gave up a lot with draft horses when we made that move. So now I hear, as you're alluding to, is maybe this carnival company is not the company that wants to continue with us here. Is that what you were saying?
That's what I've understood.
Yeah. So, that's tough. But I'll say there are flip sides. We've battled, I see it in the extension office, 4-H parents. Oh, the first week of school? That's just the most absolute awful time to pull my kids out of school. So for the youth, this is better, no doubt.
Otto's animal sells for $32.50, purchased by Joe's Repair. And now we go to Coleman Becker, Market Hog out of the Auburndale FFA, son of Steve and Shelley Becker. Hog weighs 251. Now, Loyal started school this week.
Yeah. So even if you move a week earlier, you get in trouble with schools, you're saying. Yeah.
But now Marshfield starts next week. So, But I know that's always been an issue with Marshfield, especially on the Labor Day fair.
Yeah.
But it did dramatically affect the draft horse show. I don't know how it affected the open class Holstein show.
So that, and then some of these activities here at the fair, even if school hasn't started, football practice has.
Oh, sure.
And coaches they really push your loyalty to your program, right?
That was a comment that was made at the Clark County Fair. They got talking about how many more girls are showing than boys. And
girls don't play football.
It came out that, the boys are playing football. And, a lot of coaches now demanding those practices are essential, are necessary, and you must be there. Otto's animal sells for $17.50, purchased by Weiler Transport Incorporated. And now we've got Coleman Becker. No, we've got Bristol Bowman. All right, back up an animal here. we've got Bristol Bowman in here right now, a market lamb from Meadowbrook 4-H, daughter of Angie Bowman. Animal is 135 pounds, sells for $1,000, and it was purchased by Gardner Cold Storage. Backing up, Coleman Becker's Market Hog sold for $1,750, purchased by Weiler Transport. All right, now I'm caught up, I guess. All right, now we go to Christopher Burgess, Market Hog, North County Line 4-H, son of Robert and Ricky Grassel, and the hog weighs 280.
There's another really strong livestock club, North County Line. They've done really well. I think we got some in the championship drive. I'm going to look that up right now, what we got going there. Reserve champion beef steer, Brooke Owie. Grand champion hog, Olivia Smurs. Grand champion lamb, Brianna Owie. So North County Line Owies,
yep.
But not just them. It's a good club to be in if you want to be involved in the market sale. A lot of peer pressure there.
Perform or go on or move on to a different club. We'll trade you.
I've alluded to my Pittsville Pleasant Corners background before. It's just a few years ago that all the champion lambs came out of Pleasant Corners, but now they all graduated out, right? So.
But you have, they learn from each other, and if you have a good project leader.
Yeah.
All right, we had Burgess's hog sells for $2,000, purchased by Doyne Excavating. Now we've got Maya Kremp, Shady Lane 4-H, daughter of Kurt Kremp and Amy Bethard, and a hog weighing 256. $1,750.
So you guys really, I think you had something to do with that. You really made some nice videos about Farm Tech Days. That last one captured a lot of the moments.
He did. Animal purchased by Remax Real Estate. And next up we go to Ryan Zakowski. Am I doing this right?
I think you're doing good.
Market Hog out of the Auburndale Ffa, son of Craig and Brenda Zakowski. And a hog weighs 294. Yes, we hired, if you remember, when we were working on the Wood County show, and there was a young man named Dan Hagenow who had been on the publicity committee for the Kewanee County show.
And that's who's been doing them ever since.
And he did a great job.
Yep.
And we just kind of what it would take to get you to do the Wood County videos. And he's done Farm Technology Days ever since.
Eau Claire.
Yep.
Yep.
Jefferson County.
Yep.
He just does a stellar job, and he's just the nicest guy to work with.
Well, so I went to college with some of his older siblings.
Oh, okay.
And actually, Bob Hagenow is going to be the open show dairy judge here at Marshfield on Friday and Saturday.
This would be his dad or his brother?
Older brother.
Okay. Siskowski's animal sells for $2,000, goes to Quality Parts Incorporated. And now we've got Victoria Hasenoil, Market Hog, out of the Country Kids 4-H, daughter of Paul and Jill Hasenoil. Hog weighs 268. So it's going to be judging the open class
dairy
show.
We've had him before. We've had him in junior fair. He judges quite a few county fairs.
Yeah, Dan has done, matter of fact, he does World Dairy Expo now too. He has really graduated. He started out doing weddings and things like that, and he's just kind of phased out of that altogether. So
the older brother is the ring super. So he's not the Holstein superintendent, but he's in the ring.
One of the
ringmen during the show for Holsteins, and he's in a few other times too. So he's very involved with World Dairy Expo. Yeah. But he just does a super, and it used to be, if you do Farm Tech Days, you're going to have a souvenir toy. There were some assumptions, right? Now it's pretty much, you got to have some pretty nice videos. Right?
Yes. And the toy hopefully will show up somewhere along the line here. Victoria Hasenoil's Market Hog sells for $2,700, purchased by Central Mechanical Systems. Now we go to Brooke Sternweiss, Marshfield FFA, daughter, speaking of Farm Technology Days, daughter of Daryl and Brenda Sternweiss. Market Hog weighs 279.
And they were on our videos, the Sternweiss
Oh, sure.
children. They've put on the 4 years or whatever it is since then, right? That was 18, right?
Yep, 2018. But yes, Dan does just, if you haven't had a chance to look at it, just go on our Facebook page.
Yeah, it's available on
We'll have it posted on the website here eventually too.
Can you find it through YouTube too or not?
I don't know. I just go to the Facebook page.
Okay.
If you just Google Clark County Farm Technology Days, and you'll find our Facebook page, and we've got our video on there. But yes, Dan just does. And the other thing that we found, so Sternweiss's hog sells for $27.50, purchased by BMO Harris. And now we go to Taylor Kuniger, Marshfield FFA, with a dairy beef weighing 1328. Taylor, the son of Dan and Megan Kuniger. One thing that we got a lot of TV coverage, surprisingly, on the show. And we also, there are people that shot their own videos. There's one guy, Mike, it's Mike's Machinery or Mike's. Anyway, he had done the show. He used to be with Gale. And so when he's introing the video, and the guy even had a drone. And I remember early in the first morning, somebody's flying a drone over top the grounds. And I thought, is that Hagano here already? And it wasn't. It was this guy.
Other guy.
Mike Eves, I think his name is. And so anyway, it turns out that he posted a video, and he did a lot of videoing on the field demonstrations, which was kind of neat because I never had a chance to see the field demos.
Right.
So I watched those. Did a great job with the field demos. And then he also toured the grounds with his video. And then also the Steffes group did a video, and that was done really well. So, but yeah, you find these videos that other people shot and posted, and so
nice multiplying effect.
Yes.
Yeah. So you mentioned drone. So we're saying these videos are really neat, and that's one of the technologies that's really helped make that possible.
Oh, terrific. So Kuniger, right? Yeah, Kuniger's animal sells for $4,500, purchased by Macmillan Electric. That was Taylor Kuniger. Now we've got Sierra Russell, Golden Glow 4-H Market Hog, weighs 289, daughter of Clint and Jana Sternweiss. I think back of the 2005 show that we held at Malms, north of Loyal. And at that time, you didn't have a lot of this stuff. And one of the greatest promotions we had was the Marshfield News Herald. On the first night of the show, they had hired a plane, and they flew over Tent City and had an aerial shot of Tent City on the front page. And it was a huge shot. It was one of these that goes around to the back page as well.
Sure.
And there were a lot of people that, this is just some farmers out in the field plowing, and then they see this. It's like, holy smoke, this is a big deal. Well, now you have those aerial shots. We were able to post an aerial shot of what it looked like on Tuesday and what it looked like on Wednesday. These drones are, and you think about from agriculture's perspective, we're just scratching the surface on what drones can do.
So when these farmers harvest chop, corn silage or haylage, now we've got these really large harvest units, and they just cut through those massive tonnage cornfields so fast.
With the Kemper heads that just...
Yeah, or even in the haylage, you merge it, and you get these huge windrows, and they still plow. So that is a thing, when you capture that on a drone, is really neat to see.
I remember Kloss was probably one of the first that they had, 3 Kloss choppers cutting through this field side by side with semis behind them, so they're blowing it. It was just like, wow. All right, Russell's animal sells for $3,500, and it was purchased by Bob's Dairy Supply. We have Christian Fate, Golden Glow 4-H Market Hog, weighing 288, daughter of David and Jody Fate, and that one just sold. We'll get a price here. And that sells for $2,500, purchased by General Farm Supply. We go to Madeline Bernick, daughter of Jason and Leah Bernick, dairy beef from the Golden Glow 4-H, weighs 1430. So I wonder who placed highest in the Bernick family. Their own steer show here.
Well, and they're on the committee now, and they're providing lots of valuable they're a good addition.
Well, I know when they came up with that sale, when they didn't have the fair, and they came up with the market animal sale that was held at River Edge Country Club that time, and Jason and Leo were key players in that committee
to get that done.
Put that together. Yep.
Yep.
Madeline Bernick with the Golden Glow.
So we are working off of what's basically an Excel spreadsheet here. We fit 30 plus exhibitors on a page. This information we're sharing with you. But when it was the pandemic, we had lots of, well, you can't see the animal because you can't take the animal to the country club.
Yeah.
So
Bernick's animal, by the way, sells for $4,500, purchased by Marshfield Ag Service.
So then what they did is they had, take a digital picture, send it in, and we'll make this book.
And the pictures were anywhere, on the farm.
Yeah, but they were really nice.
Yes, they
pictures.
were.
So we thought we have to do that yet because we can do it. So besides the spreadsheet,
you've got a book.
There's a book. So they've they've changed a little bit. Like now on a 2-page spread, you get 4 animals.
Right. It used to be 1 per page.
1 per page, but still very nice. And I've heard some of the bidders saying, "Oh, this is really nice. I can see what I bought here and see the kid." And the kids do a great effort of doing that same thing. They get a picture of their animal, and you see a lot of these businesses have them on display.
Well, I was just going to ask because normally they take pictures here at the sale, but now you can use these pictures instead, I suppose, to give to the buyers.
Well, we had to during that. So yeah, they had this discussion about there's still value. So we still have a backdrop. You can still take a picture.
Yep. Logan Canoyer, son of Mark and Kelly Canoyer, Webster 4-H Market Hog, weighs 283, sells for $3,200, purchased by Mike's Dairy Service. All right, we go to Jenna Lindo, Market Lamb, Marshfield FFA, daughter of Kevin and Ann Lindo, and the lamb weighs 136. But yeah, the catalog, and I remember that first year when they put that together, and they had each page featured an animal. They were 8.5 by 11-inch pages, full-color portraits, and they were also, each page was in the school color. So if they were an Auburndale student,
right. There was
blue.
A lot of thought put into it.
It was just well done.
So, now and then we lose. Oh, it's not the same way it was back in the day, but we gain a lot of things too. So.
Oh, I think 2 noted changes because of that virtual sale. One, the sale by animal rather than by pound, and the other is the round tables. And
round tables, this catalog.
It's a very casual setting.
It created a lot of, we used to use this back third of this barn was all the logistics, how to get the pigs
trailers hauling in.
And they said, we can do better. And they redid this layout. And
Lindo's lamb goes for $1,100, purchased by Marshfield Vet Service. Autumn Sternweiss, Marshfield FFA, daughter of Daryl and Brenda, and a Market Hog weighing 247. The Sternweiss kids have grown a bit in 4 years.
4 years, yeah. That's that peak growth 4 years that we've captured here, right? Yeah.
Look back at that video and see what the difference is.
Yeah.
I always remember, and we had an opportunity this year at Farm Technology Days. We invited past host families in to speak on Wednesday afternoon. And so the Hymans came, Josh and Ken were there, and Brenda and Daryl. And then we also had the Felts from the Plovers show.
Oh, sure.
And then the director of Clark County Healthcare Center from the 83 show. And I mentioned the Sternweisses. One of the things we did with the Sternweiss, the farm tours, is I sat down with the family beforehand and pre-recorded what we played about the farm.
And each of the children had a segment.
A segment they spoke about. And we did that one night at Josh and Heather's house during supper. And it took probably 3.5 hours, but it was just what a family event and what a great...
Well, you did a lot of work on that because you found us a PA system to work on the buses.
Oh, yep. All right, and Sternweiss's animal sells for $3,500, purchased by Masonville Dairy.
And that's still, you mentioned field demonstrations. A dairy facility tour is still a thing people like. This year was supply chain issues. the Rails thought in December 1st they'd be in their robotic barn, and then it was down to weeks before the show that they actually...
I think it was the end of May was when he milked it for the first time in that thing.
So, fortunately, because it's not always that way, they were pretty happy with how the cows transitioned.
Macy Becker, Market Hog, Country Kids 4-H, daughter of Steve and Shelley Becker, 250-pound animal, sells for $2,000, purchased by Provision Partners. Now we've got Hope Gensko, Market Beef, Badger 4-H, and the animal weighs 1142, daughter of Jason and Amy Gensko. Yes, the farm tours, and you look at the farm tours, and there's on that closing video, Dan spent some time in the barn, and we had over 5,000 people go through the farm tours. And they had a chance to watch the robots work. They had a chance to stand in the feed alley and watch the cows. And there is one shot he's got of an older lady, and you can clearly, she's watching the robots, and you can clearly see her say, well, that's just crazy. It's just, it is. Yeah, and a lot of people, and of course they had the opportunity, they had the calf hutches out there and the kids could go and feed the calves. And then of course.
Yeah, that was one of, I think, why would a family sign up to do that? It's a lot of effort to put on a show. And every time I heard Dennis Rail talk, he talked about how he wanted anybody who wanted to be able to feed a calf.
Yep.
He wanted people to get in the barn. And some of us that were planning said, well, if 5,000 people or 40,000 people, whatever the number is, all try to feed a calf, we're going to have some stuffed calves, right? So, not everybody wanted to do that, but everybody that wanted to had a chance to do it.
Gensko's animal sells for $4,500, purchased by Nasonville Dairy. Noah Altman, Market Hog, out of the Country Kids 4-H, son of Patrick and Jill Altman. Hog weighs 265. And to top it all off, so, of course, the country concert on Wednesday night, the feature
that was new,
is Josh Nickel, or Joe Nickel.
Yep.
Joe gets there early with his family in a motorhome.
Oh, did he come to the barn?
They wanted to milk a cow. And so he's got two little girls. So he, his wife, and the two little girls, it's on the video.
Oh.
If you watch at the tail part before the concert, that's Joe Nickel and his wife, Noah Nichols and his wife, and they're in by the robots, and the girls are up there milking a cow, squeezing your teeth, and then they're out feeding the calves. And, and they're laughing at the concert. Nichols gets up, he says, hey, I got to milk a cow. And everybody's kind of like, yeah, so? You're in Clark County.
Right.
But that was something that Dennis wanted from the get-go. Well, I remember back before the Wood County show, if you remember, originally we were going to go with virtual tours instead of a farm tour. And
we were going to do it all virtual.
Yep. And when we went to the Kewanee show the year before,
just about everybody at the show went on the tour.
And Daryl went through, and he came. I was in the Wood County tent, and he came back. He says, Bob, we got to have a farm tour. I says, okay, your call.
Yeah, well,
Altman's animal sells for $6,600, purchased by Wisconsin Dairy State Cheese. All right, we've got Allison Knetter, Market Lamb out of Roselville Rockets, daughter of Sonia and Troy Knetter. Lamb weighs 135.
So for me in the extension office, for many years, the extension office organized the facility tours. And it's just been decided we have enough other responsibilities and the logistics, if it's going to be a bus or a tram, or are they going to get off the bus, or is it going to be pre-recorded? That's not a great match for us, but we still help. But in the Wood County one, it's like, I was like, well, I think you're going to want a dairy facility tour. It's like, no, it's a biosecurity risk, and no, we don't think we want it. It's like, okay, so then we were just working on that recordings and all that stuff.
Yeah, we had the videos made up.
And then Kewanee did such a great job with their tour.
Yep. So Knetter's animal sells for $1,000, purchased by TK Built. And now we go to Abigail Becker, Market Hog out of the Auburndale FFA, daughter of Steve and Shelley Becker. Animal weighs 271. Yeah, Wood County worked. How many people did we have tour the farms that time? I forgot. The numbers escaped me, but
It was
that
a
went
good
well.
number, too.
Yep, that went very well. And there, you had lined up some people, the dairy people, to be on the bus to answer questions.
And we're pretty proud of the, we wanted industry knowledge, people that could answer, if a farmer wanted to know something technical, if there was a non-farm family and they wanted a good these concerns about the dairy industry, why don't the calves stay with mama until they're cow themselves or whatever,
Right.
And we tried hard to be able to give quality information to people.
Becker's Animal sells for $2,000, purchased by Nelson Jameson. And we go to Logan Peck, Market Beef from the Wittenberg Workers 4-H, son of Ron and Amy Peck, and the steer weighs $13.95.
So this would be one of those Nakusa Southwood County exhibits.
And a red animal. Again, it's a little kind of a smaller frame, more of an
Smaller
Angus style.
frame, yep.
But still, $13.95, 1,400-pound animal.
Solid, yeah.
And that's been the discussion, with Farm Technology Days. We've had this discussion for years, and that is, what is the future of the show? How do we get new people to come to the show? The whole driver behind the concert this year was to try to attract a new
audience
to the show.
I thought it was to sell a lot of cheese curds.
I never talked to them. How did they do on the cheese
They
curds?
really did well.
That's what somebody had said, that they sold well. The steer sells for $32.50, purchased by Wisconsin Truck and Equipment. And we go to Justin Fight, Market Hog out of the Golden Glow 4-H. Child of David and Jody Fight. Hog weighs 246. And I guess the discussion now, next year it's going to be a different show.
So it is going to
area.
change. Because it has been harder and harder to find a county and a family. So next year it's going to be, maybe we're boring people with Farm Tech Days, but we just got done with 2 shows in the last 4 years, right? So there's actually 2 organizations that run it. There's a group that's in charge of it every year. That's Wisconsin Farm Tech Days. And they have these long-term relationships with the commercial exhibitors and so forth. And then there's a local county that wants to tell their local county story, their local farm family story, and hopefully not lose a lot of money doing it. And next year, it's all going to be done by the state association down in Baraboo. So there will be some features that I don't think you'll get at a show like that you only get when a county does it. But then the year after that, it's going to be up relatively close. It's going to be in Chippewa County. I don't think, have they announced a host farm yet?
I've heard it's Country Fest grounds, that area.
Oh, it's not going to be in a farm
the Cadott
either?
area.
Okay.
It'll be the farm. Country Fest, the guy owns the farm.
Sure.
Right next to it. So
they'll have the logistics of parking and stuff down.
Yep, and they'll have, I'm betting they'll have a concert too.
Yeah. Very good.
All right, Fates Animal sells for $2,400, purchased by the Maple Dude. We have Phil Klum, Market Hog out of the Richfield 4-H, son of Sam and Holly Klum. Hog weighs 286. There's, in that order, the same thing with fairs. There's been a lot of discussion about what are the futures of fairs. I mean, these are on a financial tightrope every year, too.
Yes.
And, the carnival, has the carnival been affected by, you can go to Six Flags, or you can go to a water park, or you can go any time of the year. And the same thing with, it used to be that this was the place to see.
This was your only entertainment opportunity all
big name
summer.
Entertainment, and now you can go to Country Fest and Country Jam and the Hodag.
But there's a lot of diversity in fairs. There's fairs that have very nice programs like we have here that don't have a midway or they don't have a concert schedule.
Klum's Animal sells for $27.50 to Doyne Excavating. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So, I think this fair, this has always been more than a county fair. It's a Central Wisconsin State Fair. And if you go way back in history, there is one Wisconsin State Fair, and they decided it was way too difficult for, there's a Northern Wisconsin State Fair, a Central Wisconsin State Fair, Wisconsin Valley. It was too difficult for those people to think about getting down to Milwaukee.
And I think the lacrosse fair is
That's
a
fair?
district fair as well.
Yeah. And so this fair has a long history of a larger open class exhibit. So they still have to redefine themselves because, like you said, there's all these new alternatives. But, I'm fairly confident that there's a lot of interest in keeping this thing going.
Well, look around tonight.
Yeah.
Caleb Poundcrats, Dairy Beef, Golden Glow 4-H, son of John and Carrie Poundcrats. Animal weighs 1375, and a Holstein steer.
So right to our right, we got the clerking going on.
Yep, ag country.
It's a pretty important function. Do we have loud noises coming off the midway already now?
I think we got the grandstand act is on.
Yeah.
It's my drummer.
That's your drummer? I thought my migraine was starting.
What's the old Ernie Zampese joke from Cheers? The phone was ringing, and he says, "No, don't pay any attention. It's just a ringing in my ears."
It's just ringing in my ears. So you guys in Clark County used to have an evening sale, and you moved last year to an afternoon sale. So what's the thoughts on that?
Well, the driver was, they have struggled for years to try to put something in the grandstand, and that could pull people, but the biggest draw of that fair is the livestock sale.
Ah.
And so it's kind of hard to put people in the grandstand when you've got the livestock sale going on. So they moved it to the afternoon, thinking they could then generate something with the grandstand. Poundcrats' animal sells for $47.50, purchased by Wheelers of Marshfield. And now we go to Camden Ludke, Terry Go-Getters 4-H, Josh and Lori Lupke's daughter, and the hog weighs 246. And that's something with the smaller fairs especially. I mean, you really struggle to put people in the grandstand. Clark County is a county of 32,000 people.
Right. Not a big number.
No.
So you had more than that at your Farm Tech Day show.
Yep. Oh, yeah. The running joke in Clark County has always been we have 32,000 people and 64,000 dairy cows. So everybody in Clark County has 2 dairy cows.
Everybody has 2 cows. Yeah. So how did that work? Did it help? So I thought the theory was, too, that you get them for the sale and then they'll go to the grandstand.
Right. But it doesn't.
It doesn't?
I was trying to think what they had on. And then, see, we do the draft horse hitches after that as well. And so we had a small draft horse show. By the way, Lupke's animal sells for $52.50, purchased by Custom Fabrication and Repair. And now we go to Madison Canoyer Market Hog, Webster 4-H. Madison, of course, the daughter of Mark and Kelly Canoyer. Hog weighs 283. And so, I mean, the people hung around for the draft horse show, but you don't have the attendance at the Clark County Fair you have here.
Well,
it's
because Marshfield is a little bigger town than Neillsville.
20,000 people, and so I mean, it's the demolition derby does well, the truck and tractor pulls do well. If it roars, it does. They tried different things on the grandstand over the years. They tried rodeo, bull riding, different things. Animal sells for $27.50, Madison Canoyer, and that one is purchased by Poundcrats Trucking. And now we go to Sidney Kaufman Market Hog, Roselvo Rockets, daughter of Kip and Jennifer Kaufman, and the hog weighs 288. I know there's always been a question here for what they pay for grandstand entertainment.
Oh, well, you can you got to understand your mission, I think. And if you're the Wausau Fair, bigger market still,
right,
maybe they can justify more expensive entertainment than Neillsville for sure, or Marshfield. Right. Yeah. But I understand the drive always to see what we can do. You know, can we get the people if we have quality? And, you know, some years they've, and it would not be my job, but, you know, they get an agent that correctly identifies a real up-and-comer, and they're just in that great, graceful moment when they're taking on county fairs, and then all of a sudden they're famous.
Kaufman's animal goes for $2,400. And we'll get the buyer here for you. Quality Electrical Solutions, the buyer on that one. And we go to Aaron Fate, Golden Glow 4-H, son of David and Jody Fate. Market Hog weighs 255. So for the years that I was program director at the radio station, we ran one of the entertainment tents for the fair. The fair gave us the money to do, and we'd book the bands and whatever else. So every year, a couple months before the fair, when John Israel was running the fair, I'd meet with Jack. We'd go to lunch. And one time I asked him, I said, so how do you pull this off? I mean, you think back.
Because they did really well.
The Carpenters played this fair.
Yeah.
I remember Garth Brooks played this fair.
Yeah.
Reba McEntire, Sylvia. I mean, just one after another. And it was always a case of when they booked them, they were kind of an unknown. And by the time they hit the stage, they were number one on the charts. And I said, how do you do that? And he was booking through, I think it was a company called Variety Entertainment. And he said, you know, when I first got this job, they suggested a name, and I thought, no, I never heard of it, and I didn't take it. And the band was Highway 101. He said, ever since then, whatever you say. So he really credited the agency that he was booking through. Fight's animal goes for $2,000, and it sells to the Sports Den. Now we go to Blair Thiel, Market Hog out of the Meadowbrook 4-H, son of Bill and Barb Thiel. Hog weighs 278.
So some of these families, Blair would be an example of this. They sell a pig, they sell a dairy steer, they sell a market steer. Saw them at the dairy show today. So there's a lot of diversity here.
Oh, yeah. You know, and you think about what a great experience for kids. I mean, if you grew up on a dairy farm that was strictly dairy, well, here you have a chance to, maybe you're showing lambs or maybe you're showing hogs. And that's when my family, you know, I remember when I was little, we had chickens, but then we got rid of those. But then when Danny came along and Danny got into FFA, he needed an FFA, and he wanted hogs, and that's when we got into hogs.
Oh, Danny liked hogs.
Oh, yeah. Danny raised a lot of hogs over the years.
Yeah. So that's that new event they had now, you know, that your champion beef showman now, let's see what you can do with a lamb.
Supreme Showman.
And what can you do with a pig?
Thiel's animal goes for $37.50, purchased by Tomorrow Valley Vet Service. And now we go to Jasmine Andries, Richfield 4-H, daughter of Kurt Andries. Market lamb weighs 129. Yeah, well, Clark County's had Supreme Showman for a while.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's not that rare of an event.
Yep.
You know, it's collegiate they do that, right? So you get the little international show or whatever, and you put all those kids. But that's a neat experience. And I think it reinforces agriculture to take a dairy kid and make them learn about poultry.
Sure.
Or something like that, or so forth. You know, I'm following the last part of this sale here. I've been following that new book.
Uh-huh.
And we're talking about soybean crop. There's a lot of animals posed in front of some pretty soybeans. So you're asking me about the spots in the pig, and it's like, but dang, those are good soybeans.
Those are good beans back there.
Yep.
Okay, animal goes for $1,600. This is Jasmine Andres, purchased by Rev Cycle Incorporated.
Blair posed her pig standing in its feed tub. And I think that's probably a pretty normal occurrence, right? Pigs are pigs.
Yep.
Go finish that one.
Olivia Moore, Market Hog from Pleasant Corners 4-H, daughter of Tim and Jody Moore. Hog weighs 292. What's the 3,500 on this?
Are we pretty much through the fair season after Marshfield, huh?
Well, the Vernon County Fair is always the last one.
Oh, yes.
That's always, 3 weeks
There's a number yet of Labor Day weekend.
I think Richland County, or Richland County
Shawano,
fairs.
I think, Elkhorn. But in our central Wisconsin circuit, we're
I think this is it.
We had the World's Athens Fair, and
That was last weekend.
yeah.
Yep. Have you ever been to the Athens Fair?
No, I have not, but
You have to go.
They packed the place, I understand.
It is just great. Sells for $3,700, goes to Quality Tank Solutions. Now we've got Adam Potts, Marshfield FFA, son of Neil and Brenda Potts. Market beef weighs $12.92. And the Athens Fair, I mean, they have a dairy show. I don't know what all they show. They've got a great draft horse show. And they show in this little show arena.
Yeah.
It's a small covered arena.
Yeah.
And it was back, I don't know how many years ago, it was one of their anniversary shows or whatever. So they'd asked me to come up and do the draft horse show. And the announcer stands in the ring. And it's not a third the size of this show palace.
Sure.
And I'm in there, and there's poles coming at this height. I'm like, I don't want to be on this side of the fence. So, but it's just it's a great community fair, and the whole town is part of it.
Yes. It's kind of like the Warren's Cranberry Festival.
Yeah, I've never been to Warren's, but I've heard plenty of that, right?
Well, if you live in Warren's, you basically, they sell your own backyard for tents for the vendors.
Oh, and I've heard of traffic backed up on the freeway waiting to get in. Well, I know there's a lot of people from this area that go down there always. The big craft show.
And I'm not a craft show person, but it's in October, and so I've bought a lot of Christmas presents there.
Okay.
But the reason I'm there is that they have cranberry tours.
Oh, sure.
So I've been called on to give tours of that. So I have
Who puts on the tours? The festival?
the festival, because it's the cranberry growers. I think they're probably like Dennis Rail. It's like, we're going to have farm tech days for people to learn about dairy farming. Why do we have a Warren's Cranberry Festival?
Yeah, it's not for the craft show. Potts Animal sells for $5,500, purchased by Complete Filtration Resources Incorporated. Now we go to Dayton Barclay, Market Hog. He's with the Webster 4-H. He's the son of Craig and Daly Tritz, and the hog weighs 248.
They have some pretty humorous contests there, too. Berries are not a real big fruit, right? But they have a largest berry contest. So you imagine all these growers out looking through thousands. Oh, there's a big one,
Get that one, quick. Animal sells for $2,900, goes to Simplicity Credit Union. Now we go to Brooklyn Oconick, Market Hog, Pleasant Corners 4-H, daughter of Jeff and Jenna Oconick. Hog weighs 263. So I wonder So my nephew got involved into one of these large pumpkin contests. This was when he was at the University of Missouri. And he really studied about what all goes into this. And I mean, injecting milk into the vine and all of this, it's like...
extension people, we try to specialize, like I'm a dairy guy, but in general, I get weed questions, insect identification. You got to have a general background. And like you said, the giant pumpkin thing is very intense. So it wouldn't be practical for me to specialize in how to grow a giant pumpkin. So it's pretty hard for me when someone says, well, how much milk should I inject, or should I use egg yolks instead, and it's like, and it's, Nakusa has a big pumpkin event. And they do fun things like, in the end, you launch a pumpkin, and obviously they fall apart.
Oh, the big catapult?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And, the seed is how you make your money in that business. If you grow a really big pumpkin, everyone wants to buy your seed.
Oconick's Animal sells for $2,200, and it goes to Marwood Construction. And now we go to Travis Weigel, a dairy beef, Marshfield FFA, son of Don and Roxanne Weigel. Animal weighs 1368, and this one shows Jersey.
Yes, we had some of that in the dairy beef. And the original concept of dairy beef was like dairy purebred animals, right? A Holstein steer. And usually, if it's not a Holstein, it maybe could be a brown Swiss.
Mm-hmm.
But we wouldn't try with a Guernsey.
The smaller frame dairy animals.
Right. But now if you take a Jersey and cross it like with a Charolais, it's kind of double muscled, all close to already, heavily muscled, then you get an animal that looks a little bit like what we got here.
And this one's 1368. He's a heavy animal.
Oh, yeah.
Good, solid. And he goes for $3,500, purchased by Wheelers of Marshfield. All right, next up, we have Morgan Griesbach, Market Hog, Town and Country 4-H, daughter of Wesley and Marcy Griesbach. Hog weighing 270. So I know a lot of times, one of the unique things about what we're seeing evolve over the years in fairs is that a lot of these kids aren't on farms anymore, but they're able to keep their hogs at somebody's place or show somebody's dairy animals or whatever the case may be. But how many sources do they have to buy hogs, to buy lambs? I know the Lindos have a good line.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, we had Cherney name here, Lindo's, families get specialized in producing that market hog that's going to work at the fair. And we've had some really, in central Wisconsin here, we've had people that have also been the superintendent of swine at State Fair. So we've had some pretty good opportunities to have some pretty good hog genetics here.
Some pretty good stock coming back here. So sells for $4,500, purchased by DQ Farms. And now we go to Emma Kurzweil, Market Lamb, Pittsville FFA, daughter of Chad and Kelly Kurzweil. And the lamb weighs 159. How's the lamb market been of recent?
I think most of the markets have been pretty strong. It costs a lot to feed these animals this year. And I think that started, we talked about that a little bit last year already, that, we get these cycles, and right now grain is pretty high. I mean, it can drop a lot in one day. I guess a day this week the market's dropped a lot, but...
usually we get the weekly crop progress report out. That affects it always.
Yeah, but...
but you're still looking at $6 new crop corn.
Well, right. And everyone knows that diesel... How do you grow a crop of corn? You put nitrogen fertilizer on it, and you run some tractors. All those expenses are higher. Then you got a international crisis going on. A couple major wheat growing countries closing the Black Sea. There's a lot of reasons that we're. I think they're not expecting a record yield in. This spring, the winter wheat's already off, but that has grown in the west and the southwest had severe drought. Mm-hmm. And, I think we said the crops are beautiful here, but we're not looking for a record national average.
No, I think the last crop progress crop forecast, the corn crop was down 4%, I think, from a year ago. Which
is a pretty big number.
Right.
When you're getting into August and you're already trimming it back that much. Yeah.
Right.
So it's below trend. That's the other thing. There's an assumption that corn yield is going to be up 1.5 bushels per year, and we're not going to. And we had high prices with a really good year last year, so that means demand is really strong.
Kurzweil's animal sells for $3,800, purchased by Complete Filtration. There we go. And then we had, we had Amber Drexler, Market Hog, Those Elbow Rockets, daughter of Luke and Christy Drexler, 253-pound hog, sells for $1,400, purchased by H&S Manufacturing. And now we go to Briley Lipke, Market Hog out of Kerry Go-Getters, 4-H, Josh and Lori Lipke's daughter. Hog weighs 263. Yeah, you think about we have had 3 phenomenal years for crops in central Wisconsin.
Here, yes.
This has been unreal. I remember after 2020 talking to farmers thinking, what are the odds of having
that
again?
Right?
And we did. And now it has
better,
again.
actually.
Yes. Yeah, really it was.
Yeah.
All right, and Bradley Lookie's animal sells for $5,500, purchased by Power Pack. So nice price there. Nolan Poundcrats with a market beef, Golden Glow 4-H, son of John and Kerry Poundcrats. Animal weighs 1,085. You got to get in your tiptoes to see. Nolan's a little bitty guy.
Yep. So it's a good thing he didn't have a 1,500-pound steer, right?
But there's some Jersey and something else in this.
Yep.
This is when it's fun to watch. This is how it starts, isn't it?
Yep.
And he's worked with that animal, hasn't he?
Yes. Yeah, we didn't have to in the beef show yesterday. We didn't have to close the gates or anything like that. It was pretty peaceful.
Everything was well behaved.
We were talking about markets and stuff. It's been okay. So if you have good yields and good prices, that's a good sign. But in central Wisconsin here, a lot of it gets sold as milk. We
Right.
feed that corn and so forth. And the huge start price-wise, the first through July, really good average prices. And they still look good, but they've backed off a lot.
Oh, we were at $7.90, I think. Weren't we at one point for corn?
Oh, I'm
no,
going
it's
to
over
milk.
$8.
I'm going to milk.
Oh, yeah, milk was.
Yeah, same thing. But milk was 22, 23.
24.
People were getting 27 on their checks, and now we've lost about $4, solid $4 out of that.
I think futures are down to around 20 now. Animal sells for $4,500. Goes to Poundcrats Trucking. That was Nolan Poundcrats. And then we had Maya Knoyer, daughter of Mark and Kelly. Webster 4-H Market Hog weighs 262. That sells for $5,000. And that goes to Cropping Central. I think Mark's got crop insurance on those sunflowers?
No, I don't.
Josie Otto, Market Hog, North County Line 4-H, daughter of Brian and Jody Otto, and the hog weighs 278. I haven't seen anything this week. Are sunflowers still blooming, or is that over with?
They're past peak, I think, but I think you could get some nice pictures yet.
Okay. He's built quite the tourist attraction out there.
Oh, a lot of people take the point to, we're going to be kind of near Auburndale. Let's swing by and sit in the giant chair. See the sunflowers.
I see somebody had posted pictures and even had a professional photographer out there taking, couples engagement pictures
I saw
or
that
whatever.
too. Yeah. So explain to the public a little bit about that. Auburndale had a school forest that was 10 miles away from the school. And just the way school schedules are set up, you couldn't get the kids out there and do stuff and get them back. So it wasn't fully utilized, that school forest. And Mark, give him credit for that, Mr. Knoyer, identified a property that was right behind the school district that was a forest, and he swapped school forests. They sold the one out in the country, and now they got trails in there. I think our Farm Tech Day group did some assistance with that. They got the sunflowers, and they can rotate crops because the field this year is a different field than last year, I guess.
But right there, it's right accessible.
They can walk the kids out there and get stuff done. They got a visitor center, like a lodge in there. They've done a lot of nice things.
Otto's animal purchased for $4,000 by Wisconsin Dairy State Cheese. We go over to Joshua Lindo and Market Lamb, Marshfield FFA, son of Kevin and Ann Lindo. Lamb weighs 152. Gavel just came down on it. It was purchased by Two Dock Livestock, but we didn't catch the price. So, once again, Sheila's going running. Sheila's getting a lot of exercise tonight. Carter Lutke, Market Hog for the Kerry Go-Getters. Son of Josh and Lori Lutke. And the animal weighs 266. Lindo's lamb sells for $2,100, purchased by Two Dock Livestock.
And I think we are getting, there's fewer left now. We're getting near the end.
I hope so.
Everyone you sell, there's fewer left.
That's right. Boy, that's why he's the county agent.
I really say some profound things sometimes. But, yeah, we're past the heap. We're going to be talking about champions
this is animal
pretty
121, and one animal number 130 starts the auction of champions.
Yeah. So if you got some friends that want to listen and tune in for the champions, get them on.
$6,000 is what Lipke gets for that hog purchased by Carey Ingredients. All right, we go to Blakeland Bowman, Market Lamb. Blakeland with the Meadowbrook 4-H, daughter of Angie Bowman. Lamb weighs 130. Just noticing, oh, wait a minute. No, we're at we've got a beef here. All right, this is animal...
one of these linebacks. Look at the stripe.
122. We're back to 122. All right, this is Brett Thiel, Market Beef. Oh, I was looking ahead on numbers. Okay, anyway, Brett Thiel, Market Beef, Meadowbrook 4-H, son of Bill and Barb Thiel. Animal weighs 1322. You had me looking at the end of the bracket here, and I read the wrong one.
Yeah, and this is that family that's got those lineback-looking steers.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, sure. White stripe down the middle of this one. $4,500. After All Incorporated buying. Lindsay Boris, Market Hog, Schneider 4-H, daughter of Terry and Lori Boris. Hog weighs 288. Sometimes I look at the wrong. I started the Clark County Fair with a market lamb and looked down. That's a pig.
They didn't fire you yet.
What do you have to do to get fired from that job? I don't know.
No, I was listening from behind. You did a really nice job there. So.
Well, the thing, and here too, you know, it takes a lot of people behind the scenes to get those animals up there, to get those kids up there. There's a lot of work goes into putting this.
Well,
the livestock
we were trying
committee.
to convey that
Yep.
This was a llama show and a beef show, a dairy show today, and you know they weren't done until 3 or so, and then all of a sudden this group descends on here, and bleachers move out, and round tables come in, and we got to drive in this. It's on a flatbed, this stage. And a lot of things happen pretty quick time.
Yep.
And Mr. Knoyer is telling these kids, okay, as fast as you did this now, we're going to do it even faster when we tear it down.
And it will.
Yeah.
It does. It happens.
Like you
quickly.
said, you lost your chair.
Yeah. I lost my seat.
Yeah.
Animal sells for $3,400, purchased by Altman Construction Company. And now we go to Killen Lipke, Market Hog, Pittsville FFA. Daughter of Josh and Lori Lipke. Hog weighs 256. But yeah, and how many are on the livestock committee altogether? Just a rough estimate.
Oh, more than a dozen, up to 20.
And I mean, this is a year-long commitment.
They meet 4 or 5 times a year. And then if you're on the leadership, you're doing a lot of work besides the meetings.
The education committees or programs.
There's a lot of people volunteer that aren't actually on the committee that help. In major ways. Like I said, the one couple, the Burden couple, that they're not on. They haven't been on the committee for years, but they've been checking in pigs for.
Sure.
For
decades.
They
do it every year. It's just a natural. It's a standing. Yep.
Yeah.
Animal sells for $3,100, purchased by Kramer Consulting LLC.
So behind us, there is a fence that had to be built. A 2-lane fence that goes up a hill to get those pigs here, and that can't be up during the whole fair, so I had to build that this afternoon. And there's people back there making sure the right pigs get down here on time.
Yep.
So it's quite a...
Yeah, there's people in the barn that are lining stuff up. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening.
Blakeland Bowman, Market Lamb of the Meadowbrook 4-H, daughter of Angie Bowman. Lamb weighs 130.
How much did you say that last one went for?
Went for
Kylan? I think we say a Kylan. I don't know.
Oak Highland Lookie's animal went for $5,900. $5,900. Did I say that? Maybe I
think
didn't.
no. I think I was trying to figure out how we say that name.
Madeline Burdan, Market Hog. Oh no, we had the lamb here.
Did I mess you all up?
Yeah, Blakeland Bowman with the lamb goes for $1,400. That was purchased by TNT Custom Work. And now we've got Madeline Burdan of the Roselva Rockets, daughter of Jason and Michelle Burdan. Market Hog weighs 263. Yeah, and you talk about all the manpower that it takes to put this on. So how many people are in the barn to getting the right hog and the right kid down here? And
the consequences, they have if you don't show up, maybe you don't sell.
Right.
It's not. We haven't had many. Oh, they're coming 5 late. That hasn't happened, has it?
If you're not here, you don't sell. Period.
Yep.
All right, and that animal sells for $3,400. Purchased by Provision Partners. All right, we go to Emma Cuttinger. Emma with the Market Beef, Marshfield FFA, daughter of Dan and Megan Cuttinger. Animal weighs 1,363. And this one shows a lot of Angus.
Yep. That's another thing. Okay, in our extension booth, we talked about, we had buckwheat in there, and we had sunflowers in there, but we had these calves. So we had animals in our exhibit, too.
Yep.
We had 4 animals. We had 2-week-old dairy beef cross calves, and then we had 2 4.5-old dairy beef cross calves. And I've mentioned that's become a big thing. So we're trying to talk about it's not entirely as simple as just breeding them to a black bull and everything's wonderful, that you should still do a correct mating and do some basic rearing things, and how you can look at different calves and find out if they follow more of the beef pattern or the dairy pattern. And then we house them all in pairs, because UW is now doing a lot of research on, we've done those single pen calf hutches, and that's a great way to start them, but it's nice to help them socialize and raise them in pairs. So we had that as well.
Cuttinger's animal sells for $3,250, goes to Gardner Cold Storage. Now we've got Kyle Neiman with the Shady Lane 4-H. Market Hog weighs 262, son of Donnie and Kim Neiman. So you're going, at what stage do you go to the pairs?
Oh, yeah, it can be as early as 2 weeks. It can be.
And then 2 for how long before you go to groups?
I think most time it's 2 until you're about ready to wean.
Okay.
Everyone's tweaking that a little bit. But, if you just have a calf and then you put them in a group of 10 or more, which is pretty common practice,
right,
they run into walls, they run into each other, they don't know how to behave.
Right.
And then, you're exposing them to disease conditions from 10 others. So it's never been the recommendation to go from 1 to 10. It's like 1 to 5. But a lot of farmers have a hard time having all those steps.
Mm-hmm.
So now if you can do 2 early on, it's a better practice. And it's certainly better in the public's view, because why is that poor animal being isolated?
Right.
So
can't play with the others. Right. Neiman's animal sells for $3,400, purchased by First State Bank. Now we've got Elsie Stanton, Market Lamb out of the Badger 4-H, daughter of Chris and Ann Stanton. Lamb weighs 128, and this is the final animal in our regular sale, and then we go to the auction of champions.
One of the other things, the researcher that's doing the paired calves is humane dehorning, like doing more naturally polled animals.
Mm-hmm.
Or, don't let them get to be even the normal dehorning age. Use something you can dehorn them with, a paste or whatever, within the first 3-4 days. Use some pain-blocking things when you're treatments while you're doing it. So there's a lot of work on that, too, because, we want to be humane with these animals.
Yeah, and consumers are demanding it more and more. Stanton's Animal sells for $1,500, goes to Earth Incorporated. And now we go to the auction of champions. All right, let's see. We start out with the lamb. This would be the reserve champion lamb. I'm going to get on my right page here.
Madison Abel.
Yeah, you'd mentioned that the Abel name was coming up later. All right, so Addison Abel has the reserve market lamb. She's with the Marshfield FFA, the daughter of Chris and Tanya Abel. And the lamb weighs 155. And oh, she's holding the banner. I thought Addison's just a little bitty thing, but she's holding the reserve champion banner. So there are classes for wool lambs here as well, or just strictly market lambs?
In the breeding classes.
In the breeding classes, there are. How many different varieties do you see?
I didn't get to watch the sheep breeding classes, but we have a really nice since the Lindo family is big and you notice there was like 4 or was there more Lindos that sold tonight?
Oh, at least 4.
Yeah. So they're into sheep. And they're not just into market lambs, they're into breeding. And so the breeding division of the lamb show has really blossomed as the Lindos each, every couple of years a new one's in because they get old enough. So we've got that's a nice show to watch right now with all the different breeds.
And they show quite a number of fairs and places.
Oh, well, like you said, they used to be, you look for Lindos for pigs.
Yep.
So whatever they go into in a big way.
Whole hog. Or whole lamb.
Yeah, there you go. Good terminology. And Ann is our secretary of the market animal sale. So she's really worked hard at this.
He's at 3,000, looking for 35.
We're going up 1,000 at a time, huh?
No, 500. And he's at 45, going for 47.50. Got 6,000, looking for 62.
She knows how to brace her lamb, so it shows it's muscling well.
It's got 67.50, going for 7.
Asking 7, yeah. Should we get in?
You first.
I do enjoy lamb, but
67.50, the reserve champion lamb sells. And we'll find out who the buyer is. Complete Filtration Resources Incorporated, the buyer. So Madison's lamb sells for $67.50.
I know different years we've talked about at the Marshfield. You're involved with others. We've had a lot of syndicates, especially in these champions. Do you have that much of that in Clark County?
No, we rarely have that. It's always been, if we do, it's the Chili group that comes over, Nasonville Dairy and Hewitt's used to be in on that, and they'd get Terry Franklin in with V&H trucks. So once in a while, we did have. I was trying to think of who bid one of them relatively high at Clark County, and anyway, I think it was Tim Brusso with Northside, and he was actually holding a card for Meyer Manufacturing. So he held up 2 cards on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't actually save money because they get in multiple syndicates, I think.
Right. Well, a lot of times they're buyers that have bought other animals during
yeah.
the course as well. You think about that Chile group, and it was, Nasonville Dairy. I mean, how many animals did they buy over the years? And
So then some of them donate their 6750 reserve champion lamb. They donate it to Marshfield Medical Foundation or
for the auction of champions at the
FFA alumni group.
I know a lot of them will donate it to FFA chapters. This is Gracie Hasenerl. This is a reserve champion market hog. She's with the Country Kids 4-H, daughter of Paul and Jill Hasenerl. The hog weighs 286. Gracie Hasenerl. That is a sharp hog.
For sure.
Are we at 9,000? She's going 1,000 a pop here. He's at 10, looking for 10.5. $11.5 going for 12. $11,000 for the reserve champion market hog.
And we've mentioned that sometimes it's maybe the champions won't sell as high as some other animals just because of how successful they recruited bidders or
Well, and
whatever.
traditionally Clark County has not had where the grand champions are the highest.
But we've done well so far here.
But here, Central
So far.
Wisconsin has been more like that. Okay, this is one of those syndicates. Power Pack, Hewitt's Meat Processing, or Hewitt's Meats, Forward Bank, Marshfield Clinic Health Systems Foundation.
And it's like the third generation removed now, but Jim Hewitt was like one of the founders.
Oh, Jim was a staunch supporter of market animal sales around the
Yeah.
area. All right, we go to the reserve champion dairy beef. This is Harlan Meissner, son of Jason and Jody. Beef weighs 1430. He is with the Golden Glow 4-H Club.
Oh, the dairy beef is from
Did they have some
Golden
dairy
Glow.
beef here?
Yeah. So
This is a solid steer.
just east of Marshfield we have Hewitt, but Hewitt's was always out in
Lindsay.
But now they've moved into the south side of Marshfield, kind of in the industrial development area. If you've not been there, that is really pretty neat facility.
It is.
Yeah. And they've done some neat things for the 4-H program. They did a sausage making class. So they went to the Marshfield High School ag classroom and did a couple classes on foundational stuff on making sausage. But then they went to the back end of that new facility where they got some neat grinding and sausage stuffing equipment, and they made brats. And you've seen those cheese brats where you got the brat but you got chunks of cheddar cheese in it. Well, that's called an inclusion, so you need a little fancier machine to do that. And then the kids could pick what they wanted to put in it, and they put gummy bears in it.
A new generation.
Well, those melt, so by the time you eat
just
your brat, you can't see the gummy bear. I better get you back to the main feature here.
Sells for $42.50. Postures, Hay Creek Pallet Company. All right, so now we go to the reserve champion market beef. This is Brooke Owie, who, of course, we mentioned earlier, won the Supreme Showman competition here earlier today. North County Line 4-H, daughter of Dale and Kelly. And the beef weighs 1420, and this has got to be close to Brooks last year, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
She's going into her second year at college.
Okay.
Or tech school. She's at Southwest Tech down in Fenimore. And this is Hereford.
So basically a Hereford. But even the Hereford-looking ones might have a little of something else in there, right?
This is a big animal, 1420. That's going to be the biggest steer we've had here tonight.
I thought we had a 15, didn't we?
Did we?
I'll do some research for you.
You're good at that. He's at 4,000, looking for 4250.
Nora Meisner was at 1533.
Oh, okay.
So steers just are getting bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think a combination of genetics and better feeding?
Heavily genetics, and that's driven by what packers want.
Yeah. So it sells for $4,500. Purchased by Automated Products. And so that concludes the reserve champions. And now we go to the grand champions, and now we go to another Owie.
Yeah.
This is Brianna Owie has the grand champion Market Lamb. And she's with, of course, North County Line 4-H, daughter of Dale and Kelly. And the lamb weighs 159.
And in this little book that they made where they submitted the pictures, this picture is from the Wisconsin State Fair.
If you're going to have your picture taken.
No soybeans behind that one.
Oh, the Wisconsin State Fair background.
Yeah. So we had that in the beef show. Our reserve champion beef steer, they're going to take that steer to another show. So then it couldn't be the market sale beef steer. So the same exhibitor had a lamb that they were able to sell.
And, of course, her twin sister had a sale on a lamb earlier, so, you know, you didn't make the finals, so you get to hold the banner.
Did you get out in the barns a little bit before?
No, I just drove in here.
Are you going to be at any of the rest of the fair?
I don't know yet.
Is there a draft show here?
There is on Saturday and Sunday, but I'm not working.
You're
yet.
not going to be here?
No, I've got announced for Pee Wee football on Saturday.
Okay. So you've long been a part of the draft show show here.
Yeah. I did for, I think it was 25 years, and then I backed off. I think when they switched weekends. Well, then last year then they moved the show. We did it in July a couple years, and I did one of those. And then last year they talked me into doing Saturday again, but
That's still a good price for a lamb, isn't it? $4,500.
He's got 45. He's going for 47 and a half.
Yeah.
He's got 42 and a half, I think. Yeah, he's got 45 now. He's going to 47 and a half. $4,500 for the grand champion lamb. North Incorporated, the buyer of the Grand Champion lamb. All right, now we go to the Grand Champion Market Hog. Olivia Smurs, daughter of Jesse and Kathy Smurs, North County Line 4-H. It's a good sale for North County Line 4-H here.
Yeah.
Yeah, hog weighs 291. That's a big hog.
You might have even been able to get that one in the final lineup, huh? Even though you don't like pigs. But you said you like to eat them.
I like bacon. I like ham. Like ribs.
All things pig.
Yep. Pardon me? No. He's big. I like pigskin.
So one more quick pigs story. I was judging up in Medford, and there was a break between the dairy cattle and the dairy goats. And the dairy goats were near the livestock exhibits, so the pigs. And it was hot, and I'd been standing all morning judging these cattle. And then I ate, and I was drowsy. And everyone decided there must be a group time to walk the pigs. So they had gates and everything, and they were just like 10 feet away from me. One pig, pat on the left, pat on the right, pat on the left, pat on another pig. And no squealing at all. These were like but I was like counting sheep up in the clouds,
So now I refer to that at night when I want to fall asleep again. Yeah. I count pigs.
Pigs.
Going for 45?
Well, we haven't had a lot of squealing bothering us, even though they're going right behind us.
We had one at Clark County that was behind the bleachers in the pen and just squeal and squeal and squeal. And, of course, that big barn, it just echoes.
Echoes, yeah.
And Keith and Gary Ebergen were sitting on the top row of the bleachers back there, so I blame them. At 4,800, going for 49. Oh, he's got 5. Notice Mr. Zaleski is standing here with his arms folded, making sure not to wave at anyone.
He doesn't have a bidder number, I don't think. You're in the clear.
Keep your hands in your pockets.
But now that he's got the feel for it, next year.
That's right.
We can get him a bidder number.
Sideline reporter.
Yeah. Tomorrow
65, going for 66.
Tomorrow I get to come back and do, I don't judge it, but tomorrow we'll have dairy showmanship in here.
Okay.
Yep, and then all these animals will be leaving tomorrow.
I was going to say tomorrow's release day then, right?
Yeah, and it'll be filling up later in the day yet with open class animals.
So 6,500 is the sale price. And the buyer, General Farm Supply.
And they've been a great supporter over the years, General Farm Supply.
Denny Jacobson last year at Neilsville, I forget how many years in a row consecutive that he had been at the sale. I mean, I think he had been there at every year. All right, we go to the Grand Champion.
I think they bought your goat.
He bought my goat?
At Neilsville, I think General Farm Supply bought the goat.
Did he? Oh, he did. Yeah, he did. Yep, you're right. All right, we go to the dairy beef, Grand Champion dairy beef. This is Corbin Poundcrats, Golden Glow 4-H, son of John and Carrie Poundcrats, and the beef weighs 1485. And
I don't think Corbin's real tall.
Corbin's a little smaller than that steer, and the banner carrier is even smaller. Started at 25. Got 3. Got 4.
Looking for 45.
Got 42.50.
It's a big room here with people, and we haven't lost many yet, have we?
No, they've stuck. But I think it's such a pleasant atmosphere. He's got 52.5, looking for 55. 55 going to 57.50. All right, he's going for 6. Got 6, going for 62.50.
They're creeping up there.
He's got 67.50, going for 7,000. Got 7 going for 72.50. Yep, they'll go. 72.50 the bid, going for 75. And 75 comes through, 77.50.
We're honored with the presence of our committee chairman with us right now. He's wearing a very it's got pigs on it, your hat?
$7,500.
And sunflowers.
$7,500 for the grand champion dairy steer.
Oh. Very good.
Power Pack, the buyer. H&S was a contending bidder. So, nice price on that one.
Well, we should congratulate Mark on leading a very successful sale here tonight.
Can't hear him; his hat's too loud.
You missed it. You were doing the important facts about how Corbin did with his steer, but that's a custom-made hat.
Oh, is it?
You can order on Amazon your 2 favorite features, and he picked pigs and sunflowers.
So you've got pigs and the sunflowers here. Oh gosh, pigs on the. living.
I think if the pigs are in the sunflowers, they're out.
Yeah, the pigs are out. You should write that on the back. The pigs are out. All right, we go to the Grand Champion Beef. This is the final animal of the sale. Michelle Potts, Marshfield FFA, daughter of Neil and Brenda Potts. Animal weighs 1390, and this one's all white.
And for years, the Potts family was known as Potts Polled Herefords.
Ah.
And this is not a polled Hereford.
It may be polled, but it's not a Hereford. Let's see how this one goes. Hey, how are you? 6,000 in, asking for 65. It's got 65,
yeah, we're
looking for 7.
starting out strong on this one.
Yes. Oh, asking for 8.
It was a pretty steer in the show yesterday. It's like, was it a Charlet? Is it
It does have that kind of tan.
Shorthorn can be all white, you
Yeah.
know. So I'm not sure exactly what the breeding there is, but it's not Angus.
No. Now it turns sideways. Boy, you do see that is a nice steer. He's got 95, looking for 97.50. Got it. Going for 10.
Yeah, it would sound a lot nicer at 10, wouldn't it?
More impressive than 97.50.
Yeah, they blew the 10,000 away.
Right. Looking for 10.5. He's at 11.
Yeah.
$11,000. We've got a list. So H&S is in on it because Ron's carrying the list up there.
Ron Zigerlicki?
Yep.
I can add one.
Our bookkeeper just threw up her hands. So some of the names, H&S Manufacturing, Nasonville Dairy, we have Drexler Transportation, Dairy State Cheese, BMO Harris, Simplicity Credit Union.
And that's about half.
Yes, it was a large. We talked about consortiums.
Yeah.
This is a consortium.
So it's a great thing, though. It's for the kids, right?
But, yeah, great price, great sale. Any parting thoughts?
Well, I think we should congratulate ourselves. We're all like, change of venue tonight, and you're still back, even though you don't work at WDLB, and WDLB didn't sponsor it this year.
Yep.
It's still you.
Yeah, even though they took me off the air, they can't get rid of me that easily. Yeah.
And our new sponsor, I think he's right here with us.
Well, thank the Zaleski Sports for doing this. This is just a great, we thank you because, of course, it's a great opportunity to promote this sale and promote this show and what the kids do. And of course, you do a lot of stuff promoting kids. So,
yeah, but WDLB is here because you're here.
Yep, we do have Sheila Bowen. Sheila just wouldn't give up. She wouldn't trust it to anybody else. How many years have you done this? A lot.
That's like asking how old you are. You're not supposed to ask that.
Well, then you can figure it out from there.
Yeah,
but,
right.
So, but Matt, the fair continues on here for a
Do you want us to catch a couple prices from them yet?
All right, we'll kind of talk it through as you get a few prices from, see what you can get as far as the averages and so on from the sale.
I'll work on that.
That's why he's the highly paid professional that he is. But we do thank Sheila Bowen once again for keeping book for us. And she's had extra duty tonight because at times when the PA system wasn't working, she had to run over and get the price quick. But thanks to the folks at Ag Country Farm, credit for everything they do because they certainly keep track of this sale. And when you've got a sprawled out group like this, you have to find the bidders and get them to sign their contracts. So that takes some time as well. One of the neat things that they have here is they're able to, everything is being kept on laptop as the sale is being done. So Matt will have some averages for us and totals from the sale as well as to how it did. But overall, a very good sale. Went very well. 137 animals altogether. So the animal numbers, of course, had declined a bit. We didn't have the actual livestock sale 2 years ago when we had the virtual sale, and numbers were down because by the time they decided to do the virtual sale, some of them had already marketed their animals. But then we rebounded somewhat last year, and now this year back to 137. And 140 is kind of the average of what we've done at this sale over the years. So I think we've done very well. So we'll flip. There we go. We'll put your microphone back on, and you can give us some of the numbers of what you've got.
Yeah, can I distill this a little bit? So we sold 83 hogs, 23 sheep, 31 beef, 137 head. So not up 10 from last year. I'd be exaggerating if I said our gross was $100,000 more than last year, because it's only $97,000.
Oh, well, you fell short. $97,000 up from last year.
From last year, yep. And this report says, well, I think it's not per pound probably, because we don't sell them by the pound, right?
Right, you'd have to have just average.
Let's see what I got here. Hogs averaged $3,000, $3,068 per hog.
Okay.
Sheep averaged $23.56, and the steers, the beef cattle, averaged $55.64. So
right.
We could do the math and figure out per pound yet, but we really had an excellent sale.
Yes.
So
Went well, went fast. Bidders hung, stayed here for the sale. So, yes, excellent job.
Oh, here's, they gave me, let's see what I got here. We got the history.
Oh, compared to
So
the archives.
So back in '96, we grossed $93,000, and there's been some years that were down, but as I said, $424,000 this year, $327,000 last year, 2020. So that would be, let me think. That would be the sale that was actually
the
out.
virtual sale.
That was a $201,000 sale, so that was fewer animals.
Right.
Pre-pandemic, we had gotten up to $288,000. So we talk about different things being back up to pandemic level. We've kind of blown the pandemic away. So yeah, excellent. So yeah.
Well, very good. Well, once again, thank you. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
And Sheila, thank you for keeping us straight.
Sheila, up and down, up and down.
And risking sitting between us.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for your support for the Central Wisconsin State Fair. Of course, the fair continues on through Sunday, and the open class rolls in on later? Well, tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, so the livestock stuff tomorrow. So the kids get to leave at 3. I think 3 to 4 is moving out.
Okay.
And then open class starts moving in, because tomorrow morning right away is the beef show again. Next day, not tomorrow. Tomorrow we got one more day.
The open class beef show starts
on Friday. Yep.
Yep. All right. Well, very good. Well, Matt, thank you very much.
Yes.
Sheila, good seeing you again. Thank you to Zaleski Sports, and enjoy the fair.